on the go.
Download the KELOLAND News app now.
You're watching Kelo Extra. Put a little extra in your life.
Your home for the latest news, weather, and sports is the KELOLAND News app, keeping you informed and staying connected.
Know on the go. Download the KELOLAND News app now.
High school football live on Kelo Extra, sponsored by Davenport Evans, Rising Hope Counseling, Northwest Tire, VOA, USD School of Health Sciences, Sanford Health, River Ridge Oral and Maxillofacial Surgical Center, and H&H Roofing. Now it's game time.
The 46th annual Bob Burns Dakota Bowl is live. Welcome everybody to the McEnany Field here on the campus of O'Gorman as we have top-ranked Harrisburg taking on number 4 O'Gorman. You see the coin toss in the air, just got flipped. Our sideline cameraman, Cody, getting the zoom in there. Looks like a head's even there. Talk about a great shot from Cody. I'm KELOLAND Sports Director Grant Sweeter with the call tonight. Jordan DeSmit joining us. Jordan, we got two really good teams here, and it looks like the toss has been won by Harrisburg, and they want the football.
Yeah, I don't blame them at all. They got a lot of talent on the field. They want to make sure that they make their presence known early on offense.
As we come back up to our top camera here, two really good teams going to cross the paths. Now O'Gorman is coming off a championship appearance last year. They were runner-up in Class 11 AAA, falling to Lincoln. Everybody fell to Lincoln. Lincoln went undefeated last year. They were incredible. Well, now O'Gorman graduated a lot of talent. Hayden Gross, Rylan Satter, Henry Theobald, Maverick Jones, just to name a few, and most of them are off playing college football, Jordan. It's tough to fill holes for talent like that.
Exactly. Some of the names that you mentioned, that's some Division I talent that they lost, right? There's some guys that we are probably going to play at those colleges in the fall, and you don't just fill those guys' shoes, especially week 1. I mean, O'Gorman's a good program. They probably have a lot of talent coming back. We'll see what they have for us here tonight, but it'll be interesting to see how they try to fill those shoes here in week 1.
Well, and this is a Harrisburg team that has almost 200 players that came out for football. And then to piggyback off that, they already have 6 or 7, I think it is, players committed to play college football and could have more coming. They're looking at maybe a 10-player class going to play college football. That's quite the number. Certainly. It will be. Here's a kick sent into the air. And we're underway. The 46th annual Bob Burns Dakota Bowl begins with Harrisburg getting the football, and let's pull up the starting lineup for Harrisburg. Plenty of talent across the offensive line, left to right, talent everywhere. And that includes, also in the backfield, quarterback Sam Knuth, who's headed to play at St. Thomas next year, Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's going to play Division I football, right? FCS Division I football at that. And over 2,700 yards last season. This guy's a difference maker.
Knuth, a talented player, no question about it. And here's quite the motion. 3 players in motions left to right, first play of the game. Run to the right side, got a little bit of room, got a hole, right side running. And all the way up to the 40-yard line is Josiah Hines. How about that carry to start the game? They motioned the heavy package over there, Jordan, run right behind it, and there was a lot of room.
Exactly. It looked like a little outside zone action of their offensive line, taking wide steps over there to the right. Great blocking, a great job of getting to that play side shoulder by that offensive line. Great blocking on the perimeter, and they break off a big run here to start the game.
And so that'll be first down and 10 again, set up 37, make it 38-yard line. They give it to Hines again. This time stacked up at the line and dropped. Nice defense there. And let's take a look at that O'Gorman starting defense. Plenty of talent across the board, but it's that linebacking core. Sullivan Schlimgen, Josh Wolfel, Alex Carlson, Jack Stukel. Tons of talent for this team. They're going to run it to the far side. And that will force a stop clock as he's out of bounds but shy of the marker. And Jordan, we've talked about this linebacker core before, but Sullivan Schlimgen, kind of the heart of it. It's the guy that's going to play D1 football at the FCS level for South Dakota State.
Yeah, and he leads probably, you can argue, maybe one of the best linebacking cores in the state. You saw them make their presence known there on the play before that. They're going to have to step up here, 3rd and long. We'll see if they send one of those linebackers on a blitz package here.
3rd down and about 5. As you hear the O'Gorman crowd getting behind him just a little bit. Rolling near side, Knuth fires a deep ball, nowhere. It's an incomplete pass, and it'll bring up 4th down. As nobody home there, he was looking for number 11, Jonah Knuth. Couldn't connect with him, though.
On point number 35, Kean Upton. Back deep to receive for the Knights, number 12, Dawson Bauer.
Yeah, they got a lot of new players. Pretty much all of, not everyone, but pretty much all of their skill guys are gone. Look at this bounce rolling all the way to the 1. How about that field flipping punt? That ball was at the 43, and it just went 56 yards. Kind of a mistake not to pick that one up there, Jordan.
Pick it up and get what you can. Try to get a couple yards, and I get maybe it's risky. You're worrying about buffing a ball that, I mean, it's an odd-shaped ball that it could bounce any which way, but I think you try to at least get a couple yards to help out your offense so you're not backed up deep in your own end zone.
Well, it looks like O'Gorman, not only their first offensive possession with a lot of new names, including Talik Black, the new quarterback, but now they got to do it in their own end zone. Snap to him. Throws it out in the flat, slips by one man, but they can't get by the next one.
And that's a risky play call in this situation. They complete that pass in the end zone, and there's 5 yards he has to get out of the end zone. I mean, I think they're kind of lucky he got out of there, but a good job of getting out and getting a good 4 or 5 yard gain.
Yeah, Teasy, a little juke move there. Otherwise, they could have been in trouble. Talon Black to quarterback, Matt Steffen, Dawson Bauer, Sullivan Schlimgen. Some of the talented players that we're going to hear from as it's 2nd down. Run left side, ain't nowhere to go. Stuffed up and bottled up by this Harrisburg defense, and they have got talent across the board. They start 8 seniors, 3 juniors, a lot of guys with experience coming back from last year. Just a ton of talent across the board here, and you saw it right there, Jordan.
And with that play, it looked like a simple read option, but that defensive end over there not fooled by it, read it well, and made a good play.
3rd down and long. Firing near side, incomplete. Intended in the direction of a diving Sullivan Schlimgen. As talented as he is, we're going to see him on both sides of the ball, Jordan, and you saw it right there. He tried, just Black's throw a little too far, maybe a little off the mark there in the early going.
Also good coverage there. It looked like Justin Cabrera on the coverage there. He's one of the best corners in the state. I know for sure he has an offer from South Dakota State. We'll see if he continues to make his presence known here throughout the game. Almost a bad snap there.
Yeah, Black had to reach up to get that one. Now here comes Braden Fieldy, who fumbled at the end of the play. O'Gorman thinks they have it, and that's what they say. See if we have a look at the replay there. You see Fieldy, yeah, just got a ball on the hand. Sometimes you get so excited, Jordan. You got a big return coming, and then you make a mistake like that. You get your eyes, we're going to get inside the 20, right? Focused on where you're going, not what you're doing at the moment.
I think he just kind of lost sight of his ball control there, right? I think he didn't really tuck it the way he needed to, didn't protect the ball the way he should have, and that's what led to that fumble.
Here's a roll, a little option coming near side. They give it to the tank that is Sullivan Schlimgen, and he bulldozes his way across the 25-yard line. It's a nice option to have a guy like him, 6'2", 220, you can give to as a fullback. but this is also a D1 linebacker. He's got the athleticism to play both ways and be very effective.
He's going to be a tough guy to bring down all night. And we had the West Central game last night, and their goal was to wear down Sioux Falls Christian. It didn't work. Maybe that's O'Gorman's goal here tonight.
Keeping it simple. Here's a handoff. Straight ahead. First down carry. Bulldozing across the 24-yard line. A very fired up Gavin Hamrick.
Number 13, Blair Van Hall on the tackle, but not before.
And a first down carry there.
And they got a first down.
Bulldozing his way forward. Gavin Hamrick, he's a big guy too, plays DB, 6'3", 205. They got some size, and they're running it right at him. Hamrick again, this time the Harrisburg defense will bottle that up and put a stop to it. Well, still a pretty good carry though. 4 yards.
66 counter leg.
That's a blind, better pad level. I think they got in trouble their pad level their last play. Still 4 yards. I think O'Gorman still won first down there.
Second down and about 6. 2 receivers either side in a shotgun formation for Talon Black. High snap to him. He gives it to Hamrich. And Gavin Hamrich goes left side for a 2-yard gain.
Third and manageable here. I think the playbook's still pretty open if you're Sioux Falls O'Gorman. We'll see what they can bring up. They maybe try to maybe a quick throw, high percentage throw to maybe try to get the first down quick.
3rd and 4 for the Knights from their own 49.
Third down. 4 yards to go from the 49, maybe 4 down territory. Black will throw to Slimgin, and a big pancake. There's a hold coming back. This is not happening. It is a holding penalty back at the 49. A defender had it sniffed out perfectly, and I believe
Penalty marker on the field.
if we find in our notes here, I think it was Henry Shenahaw. The call already being made as a hold. I saw that one pretty blatantly there, Jordan. Somebody sniffed out the screen perfectly. And unfortunately, the offensive lineman tried to get away with a hold.
I think that offensive lineman thought maybe that was his only choice to try to break off a big play. Try to do it to maybe see if he couldn't get caught, but he did. And I think even if he doesn't hold there, I think that's going to bring up 4th down anyway.
It'll be 3rd down, 14 for the Knights in their own 39.
3rd down and about 15 now. Emotion Slimgin, right to left, fires over the middle. A lot of contact, and the flag's coming out. Wait a minute, now the umpire has a deflected pass. So what's the conversation here? Was it a deflection first?
If they rule if it's a deflection, then no pass interference. And they're going to talk about it here.
Conversation being had, you see here from our sideline cam. And it's a hold on the defense.
Holding against the Tigers.
That should be another 10 yards going the other way and bring up 3rd and manageable again.
Automatic first down.
See, and at the high school level, we're going to find out here.
Defense, number 3. 10-yard penalty, previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
At the high school level, not like the NFL, where it's an automatic first down.
3rd and 4 for the Knights from no 49.
Third and 4. Near side motion. Pitches it to Slimgin. He doesn't have it. Stopped at the 50.
Sullivan Schlimgen on the carry.
And that's going to bring up 4th down and about 3. And so the conversation
4th down and 3 for the Knights from
is going to have to be, what do you do here? And here comes the snap. They do end up punting it away, playing the field position game. That one's going to take a favorable bounce for O'Gorman. And we're going to step aside with that. This is a Dakota Bowl on Kello Extra.
Oral surgery isn't something we typically think about until we need it. At River Ridge Oral and Facial Surgery in Sioux Falls, we ensure you're taken care of during every step of your oral surgery journey. For the past 20 years, we have been here to provide superior oral health for you and your loved ones, and we look forward to taking care of you for the next 20 years. Go to riverridgeoralsurgery.com to learn more. Rediscover your smile with help from our dedicated team at River Ridge Oral and Facial Surgery Center.
Transform your career with the VOA Dakota's Choices program. As a residential supervisor, you'll lead direct care staff and guide your team to success while serving people on the path to transformation. Help people and get paid to make a difference. Visit voa-dakotas.org to learn more and apply. That's voa-dakotas.org.
That's a gain of 6, 2nd down and 4 for the Tigers from their own 24.
Good now.
And back here at the Dakota Bowl. 2nd down after a gain of 7. Missed the first play of the drive, but now 2nd down. Carrying middle. There's nowhere to go. O'Gorman in there beautifully. And the tackle is made.
Tackle for the Knights behind the line of scrimmage by 34, Mason Myatt. Oh, I'm sorry, 34 for the Knights.
Nice play there by the O'Gorman defense. You see a look at the Knights right there. And the guy that made the tackle, which would be Jack Stukel. Nice play there by Stukel.
For the Tigers from their own 23.
3rd down and about 5. To throw. Knuth all day. Deep ball. Looking for Jonah Knuth. Can't connect. Deep ball down the seam doesn't work. And that's going to bring up 4th down.
On the coverage for the Knights was 19, Jason Muller.
Second deep ball we've seen them not be able to connect on. And we'll see if those receivers come back on the same page here shortly.
On the punt, Kean Upton. Back deep to receive for the Knights, number 12, Dawson Bauer. Number 2, Chase Teasy.
So on 4th down and 5, punt unit on. Bauer and Teasy to return it for O'Gorman. High end over end kick and a long run backwards for Bauer, who just lets it go. And so the punt unit has had quite the day for Harrisburg, excuse me. That one going all the way to the 17. That's a 60-yard punt.
This Harrisburg team so far, we've gotten some really good, favorable bounces.
Benedict Sisters, Bounce Around Inflatables, and Keegan Construction. With their support of the Bob Burns Dakota Ball 46.
So it's now 1st down and 10. 4:22 remaining in quarter number 1. It's been a punt fest between the teams. We had a fumble, but for the most part, it's been 2 teams exchanging possessions. Here's a handoff. Teasy running left side, sheds the first tackle and then gets thrown out of bounds. Said that he went out on his own, and so they keep the clock running on a gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, seeing another outside zone play there, but great job by the Harrisburg defense with their leverage, getting good angles and forcing them out of bounds for only about a 3-yard gain.
Under the 4-minute mark, quarter number 1. Near side carry, Teasy. And not much going there, just about a yard on that one. And so it's going to bring up third down. You see Teasy on the short carry.
Number 9, Isaac Ostrom on the tackle for the Tigers. Along with number 87, Aiden Costin. The gain of 1. Third down and 6 for the Knights.
So here comes third down and a little ways to go. Third down and 6. Third and medium, you could call it. They motion a man. That's Logan Melbus, and now they throw over the middle, a spinning catch, hauled in and completed. That's number 19, Chase Mueller.
He put the ball exactly where he needed to. The only spot to put that ball is a back shoulder ball, and a great spot to put it. It's a first down.
And that's going to bring up another first down as the chains keep moving.
First and 10 Knights from their own 37.
First down and 10 up to the 37. So far, the Knights have moved the ball pretty well. They've just had tough field position a couple of times. Fires it over the middle, reaching grab, and a first down connection.
Some weak spots in this Harrisburg secondary up the seams that they've exploited here so far. And we'll see if they continue to do that or if Harrisburg makes an adjustment.
Yeah, Matt Steffen with a beautiful grab there. You see from our sideline camera we just showed you. And back up top, you can see they're moving the ball near midfield. And again, you wonder, if that punt doesn't take a 20-yard bounce, now you're 20 yards further ahead right now. First and 10, handoff Teasy. He is hit, met, and stopped in the backfield. That's Isaac Ostrom.
On the carry.
Good strong running to get it back to, only about a loss of 1 there. But a great job by the Harrisburg defensive line.
Loss of 1.
Nowhere to go. That's the big thing. There really just was no room to run around there. Here's Teasy, near side, tripped up, tackled, and dropped at the 43.
There, a great open field tackle, a great job of shedding off that block and making a good play in open space.
Well, and you mentioned him right before kickoff that he's a talented player, got some college looks. This is a guy that's going to make his name known, and we're seeing that.
3 interceptions last year. I think he had double-digit pass breakups as well. Just a real difference maker.
Third down and 15 yards to go as we reach the final minute of quarter number 1. Black in trouble, rolling, flipping. It is incomplete. Did he keep his feet in bounds? No, he did not. It is an incomplete pass, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Intended for 19, Jason Muller.
Another decent drive by O'Gorman. They got some things going. Just got to be able to finish drives. And like you mentioned, I think that punt rolling about a good 20 yards made a big difference in that drive.
Well, and right after this punt, we will take a quick break. See if we can sneak one in here before the end of the first quarter. High snap, Black punts it away. Fieldy underneath it, and the ball will be downed with 33 seconds to go. We'll step aside. This is high school football on Kello Extra.
It's a Labor Day celebration going on right now here at Carl's.
We have hot buys throughout the store.
Save up to 45% on major appliances.
Buy a Samsung 4-piece kitchen package and get this 55-inch TV free.
All TVs are on sale.
All grills are priced to move. Save up to $900 on Serta iComfort mattresses and up to 70% on in-stock TV stands and consoles. It's a Labor Day celebration going on right now here at Carl's.
Carl's, your servicing dealer since 1956.
Delicious food, exceptional service, and a relaxed atmosphere. You can have it all at Camille's Sidewalk Cafe. Open every day serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Need catering? Camille's has you covered. Our delicious trays, bowls, or boxes can accommodate any sized group. From assortments to custom orders, we make it easy to make everyone happy. Call or email your order today. Eat, relax, enjoy. Camille's Sidewalk Cafe, 41st and Grange, and the Empire Mall.
Only coverage for the Knights, number 5, Alex.
And we welcome you back here. Missed one play, but we got to look at the replay here. Knuth rolling out, firing it, completing it to Braden Fieldy for what might be the final play of the quarter as the clock ticks down. Final seconds, they motion Fieldy across, but the clock will run out. And the first quarter has come to a close. We're scoreless in the Dakota Bowl. After one quarter, this is high school football on Kello Extra.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Do you experience pain, tingling, numbness, freezing, or burning in your feet or hands? Are you tired of painful days and sleepless nights? If you've been diagnosed with neuropathy or are experiencing pain or numbness, pick up the phone and call us right now before it's too late. Neuropathy is a very serious and progressive disease where your nerves begin to break down. With time, it can lead to balance problems, falls, disability, and in some cases, amputation. Our unique program addresses the actual causes and doesn't simply mask your symptoms. Many of our patients start experiencing relief within weeks. There is no use of prescription drugs or surgery. Pick up the phone right now and call to see if you qualify for our neuropathy treatment program that has changed thousands of lives. You do not have to suffer through life any longer. Get back to the life you deserve. Call now before it is too late.
Brandon welcomes Northwest Tire to the community. From top brands to top-notch service, Northwest Tire provides quality tire and repair services to keep your vehicle going strong. All makes, all models, all sizes. If it goes around, you'll find it here. Check out nwtire.com for a complete list of services and specials. Also wishing all high school football players a safe and exciting season.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Welcome back to the 46th annual Bob Burns Dakota Bowl. And like the days of old, we got a defensive battle. A lot of times this game has been who can run the ball better, who can take the clock and use it the most. Here's Braden Fieldy. Out to the left side, slip a couple tackles, and take it for a first down.
And Fieldy, one of those returning all-state guys from last year. He's getting a little small college looks there. A good idea to get him out in space and make a play.
Certainly. Always good when you can get any of those talented players out in space just a little bit.
Jack Stupa also on that tackle. First and 10 for the Tigers for the Knights 45.
First and 10, run near side. It's Hines. He bullies his way forward and then gets ushered out of bounds. And so that's going to bring up second down as the clock runs down to 11:22. But a nice little carry there. Obviously, you can get 7 yards on a first down run. That's what you're aiming for.
Yeah, definitely not going to complain about a 7-yard run on first down. And like I've been mentioning this whole game, that just opens up the playbook. And offense coordinator here for Harrisburg can call just about anything he wants.
Sometimes on these short down situations, Jordan, you can see teams try to take a shot downfield.
I mean, this is the perfect spot to do it. Second and short on the 40-ish yard line. Wouldn't be surprised if I see some play action.
Well, they're not going to do anything we say. They're going to give it to Hines, who rumbles down the sideline and right into your living room with our sideline camera there on a beautiful carry of a first down.
And a good decision to run the ball there. It's like, what do I know, right? That's why I'm calling the game and not being an offense coordinator right now. But yeah, I mean, very similar play, kind of an outside zone look again, and they rumble down to, the 26-yard line, 24-yard line.
So the clock stopped as it's second down. And here comes a carry. Left side, Hines. This time, unlike the last couple of runs, bottled up a little bit. In fact, no gain on the play to bring up second down.
And a great job by that defensive end over there, keeping that outside shoulder free. That's what helped him to shut off that block and make a tackle.
And you see the defense of O'Gorman there making the play. I really say, these blue jerseys for O'Gorman, I really like them. Sharp jerseys with the black pants. It's a good combo.
Got to bring out the good jerseys for the Dakota Bowl, right?
Second down and about 11. Knuth the throw, looking for a screen. Hines got tripped up by his own man. As an offensive lineman, you see the one on the screen falls down, and then Hines, the intended receiver, just couldn't make the play because he tripped over his own lineman. Just a tough sequence of events.
I think even if that does happen, even if he does keep his feet there, I think Schlimgen was right there and he read the play beautifully. Either way, I think that play was going to go nowhere.
Third down and 11 yards coming up. 10.5 minutes to go in quarter number 2 in the Bob Burns Dakota Bowl. And we are going to have an O'Gorman timeout, and we're going to take one on the field too. This is high school football on Kello Extra.
Transform your career with the VOA Dakota's Choices program. As a residential supervisor, you'll lead direct care staff and guide your team to success while serving people on the path to transformation. Help people and get paid to make a difference. Visit voa-dakotas.org to learn more and apply. That's voa-dakotas.org.
Football's newest show breaks down all things NFL, from the plays to the players, from the field to the fans, and everything in between, 5 days a week. GMFB Overtime. It's football for everyone.
Coming this fall to Kello Extra.
Yeah, back here, the 46th annual Bob Burns Dakota Bowl, and it's third down and 11 yards. Pistol formation. Hines right behind quarterback Knuth. The low snap, he handles it. Shot in zone for Fieldy. He's got it. 24-yard touchdown for the Tigers, and they lead it 6-0.
Just found a soft spot in that zone, and just a simple post route. And Fieldy just burned his defensive back for a touchdown.
Yeah, simple post route one-on-one, and we've seen Fieldy. He's an explosive player, right, Jordan? And so you kind of have that feeling, get him one-on-one, that's right where you want to be.
Exactly. We've seen him try to get him out in space, and we just saw him take a shot like we thought they were going to take earlier. And it's 6-0, and now 7-0 Harrisburg.
Point after is up, and it is good. And when you talk about the 7-0 lead, Jordan, I think the issue that goes there, that was third down and 11. So that's a miss defensively, knowing there's only one place you can't get beat, and that's over the top.
Exactly right, and I think you can maybe argue, okay, maybe they might go for a run play that might make a more manageable fourth down. I don't know how good their kicker is, but I think in that situation, if you're O'Gorman, you have to be ready to go for that.
Taking a look at that replay, and you see it was just easy. I mean, Fieldy just did his job and won the route.
And also, I think a great call at the right time as well by that coaching staff of Harrisburg.
Good call, good execution, great ball from the quarterback, and maybe a little bit of a defensive, well, I'm going to say lax. He just got beat. It was one of those things where the play call was one-on-one, and your guy won that battle.
I mean, yeah, they're just putting their best guy in a good situation. They trust their best guy to win a one-on-one battle, and it's 7-0 Harrisburg because of that.
And so the Tigers are going to kick it away. Teasy, one of them back to return. Looks like Bauer's the other one. And the kick sent in the air. Bauer ranges over, hauls it in from the 4-yard line. He doesn't have anywhere to go. Getting across the 15, bottled up and stopped.
Great
to the 16.
Great.
Well, yeah, I mean, he barely got to the 15 without having any pressure.
That's just a matter of guys staying in their lanes and refusing to be blocked. And now O'Gorman has, I mean, once again, some tough field position.
You know, and a question there, Jordan, do you let that ball land? I mean, he ran a long way to his right. It's either going to carry forward or carry out, right? I mean, it would have landed at about the 4 or 3 yard line.
I mean, and with the football, we mentioned this earlier, it's an odd-shaped ball, right? So you don't really know where it's going to bounce.
It could stop.
Right? So if you lose control of that, that's a live ball. So you can't necessarily count on that going into the end zone.
But I think half the reason that the coverage was there was for the simple fact that he had to run a long way to get that football.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Gave him plenty of time to get down there. And
Black handoff to Hamrick coming near side, and not a ton of room. A little bit of space, but not much.
Another good open field tackle there. And we've seen some sure tackling out of really both teams so far tonight.
Both teams have been sharp, and I've liked what I've seen from both teams. It's kind of fun. And Steve Keeter always joked about how they always ran the ball a bunch. You know, that was what Steve Keeter's thing was. And he's the athletic director now at O'Gorman. Both teams are really trying to establish the run tonight. There's no doubt about that. Now here's a little end around to Melbus, bouncing it out to the outside, diving for the marker. He didn't get it. He's close. The gain is about 6 yards, and we'll bring up about 3rd and 2.
I think we're seeing both teams kind of establish that they want to use their speed to try to get out in the edge here. And we've seen a lot of outside zones, some sweeps and things like that. That was actually technically, I believe, a forward pass. He flipped it forward a little bit. And both teams are like, we're going to use our speed to try to beat you.
You know, that's the pass play that I have said should be changed in the definition of pass plays. You know, they always make the joke, could I complete a pass in the NFL? I could. If that's a pass, I could do it.
Well, it is a little bit hard because you have to get the timing right on the motion.
Timing's
right?
big. Well,
that's
and in the NFL, they got some fast guys, too. They'd be running by me as I tried to pitch it to him. Here's Black on the keeper. He's muscling forward, and I think he's going to get it. Not by much. He needed the 38, and he got just the 38. 37.5 was where the marker was, and that's why they say keep those legs churning. First thing they teach you as a ball carrier as a kid.
Exactly right. I mean, the first guy shouldn't bring you down, and a good job by the O'Gorman quarterback to keep his legs going and fight for a first down that this team really needed.
Big first down, no doubt. Now can they get the chains going? And for O'Gorman, they've moved the chains pretty well. Quite a few first downs, but they've been in some tough field position all evening.
Exactly. We've seen them drive the ball well. They just kind of stalled at about midfield. And the offenses looked all right. They just need to start finishing some drives.
That play, by the way, was a wildcat formation. Sullivan Schlimgen in there, handing it to Hamrich. And then on the tackle, you see there number 8, Dane Anderson, and some other Harrisburg Tigers. It's hard to call out which Tiger right now is making the tackle, because there's 3 or 4 of them that are getting hands and bodies in there.
I mean, that's just great team defense, right? Just do your job, then rally to the football. They're doing a fantastic job of that so far.
You saw it right there, loss of 1 at 2nd down and 11. 3 down linemen for Harrisburg. 1 receiver wide left. Now they're going to send another one in that direction. And the throw over the middle is incomplete. Looking in the direction of number 19, Jace Mueller.
And just missed with the throw there. I think he was there for a few yards. Just threw it behind him, and Mueller couldn't adjust.
Well, and for Talon Black, this is a guy that's a junior quarterback, and he sat behind a talented Bennett Dannenbrink a couple years ago when he was a freshman. And then last year as a sophomore, he sat behind Hayden Gross. So he's learned from some talented QBs, but he hasn't been put in these situations much. Now Schlimgen back there, he's going to run it to the near side. He's going to get hit hard and dropped. Schlimgen coming to the near side, and they shut that down. They went with Schlimgen that drive at quarterback. You know, this is a team trying to figure out who's going to play quarterback, Jordan. And sometimes you try to throw it out there and say, here, you have this drive. See if one of them can't get the ball rolling a little bit.
And I don't mind that, but I think when you do that, you don't really get a quarterback a chance to get in a groove, right? If they're off the field every other drive. I'd prefer a coach just to stick with the quarterback and see what happens from there.
John, how you feeling?
Well, and it depends, too, how you practice, right? Some might practice it with 2. Some might let first reps flip back and forth. There's that old saying, I don't remember which coach said it. There was an old coach that said, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. But now you're seeing with the offensive creativeness that we're seeing year in and year out, that's not true anymore.
Right. I mean, a 2-quarterback system can work. I mean, as long as maybe you have one guy that can take a lot of the reps.
There's a side spinning punt that carries out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. So for Harrisburg, who just had their best offensive drive of the game, Jordan, now they're going to get the ball in plus territory.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And this is a Harrisburg team that I think really got the ball rolling on offense their last drive. And we'll see if they can take advantage. I mean, they're kind of playing the field position game here with how they've been playing so far, and we'll see if they can capitalize on the ball being in plus territory.
First down and 10. They mark it at the 46 as Harrisburg comes running out here. A look at our sideline camera on this beautiful night. First and 10, near side throw towards Feldy, and it falls incomplete. And I apologize. I always say Braden's name wrong. A lot of people say Fieldy. It's Feldy. I just looked up. I talked to Coach White about it, and he said it's Feldy. And I have double-checked that that's what it is. And you got to get his name right because he gets the ball quite a bit.
In our defense, there are 2 E's there, right?
There is.
So you can't really blame us.
But nevertheless, Coach White's got a straight and narrow. We'll get it right the rest of the way, especially as much as Feldy gets the ball. Here's a carry going forward. Dragging the defenders is Hines. Josiah Hines on the carry, and a good carry there. Josiah Hines is a bit of a handful to try to bring down. 5'8", 185. Kind of a smaller running back. Well, if I look at the right line, 5'11", 195. So, but still, I mean, 195, he runs with a full head of steam.
Yeah, one of those guys that it's short, compact, stays low to the ground, has a low center of gravity. I mean, it's tough to get low enough.
Well, and there's a timeout on the field. O'Gorman will call one. We'll take one, too. This is the annual Dakota Bowl on Kello Extra.
Do you want to work in healthcare? Walk with us.
First, you got to find an area of focus that gets you excited.
This comes down to having the best professors and a lot of programs to choose from. You'll need to experience how a full healthcare team works in action.
So look for a place that will teach you in a real, collaborative setting.
If it doesn't have top-notch equipment and state-of-the-art labs,
you don't want it. Does the team you're joining have the power to connect you within the state's top healthcare systems? It's the team, the space, and the place that's going to get you where you want to be. It's USD.
When your child is sick or injured, nothing else matters. You want to help them and stay by their side wherever that takes you. Here at Ronald McDonald's Charities of South Dakota, we provide more than just a place to stay. We give families the support they need to focus on what matters, their child. Through your generosity, we've been keeping families close in South Dakota and beyond for more than 40 years. Thank you.
McEnany Field on a gorgeous Saturday night, the last day of August. And it's going to be third down and short. Near side throw, hauled in. Can the receiver get past the 2 defenders? No, he can't. Sullivan Schlimgen finishes off the tackle. They did complete the pass to Ostrom. Just not much room there to go. Good job. That's why you have to rally to the ball. One guy misses, the other guy can pick you up.
And a great job by Schlimgen there, too. Play wasn't necessarily over to him. Good hustle by getting over there. And he brought the boom as he ran over there.
Sullivan Schlingen's fun to watch. Now it's fourth down and about 3 yards to go. Pistol formation, Hines in there. They motion Feldy right to left. Play action. They want Feldy. He's isolated, reaching up, making the catch at the 31-yard line. It's a first down.
We've seen him make so many big-time plays already so far this first half. and O'Gorman's got to try to find a way to stop him.
Now look at that replay. And you see all they're trying to do there, Jordan, simply put, it's nothing fancy. They just want one-on-one on the edge with Feldy, who they feel is maybe their best player offensively when you get him one-on-one.
I think every offensive coordinator will agree they want the ball in the hands of their best player as much as they can get it, right? And it seems like that's been their strategy here so far with Feldy.
False start called, and so that'll make it 1st down and 15. A little bit of a mountain to climb for Harrisburg, who just got that yardage, and now they 1 step forward, 2 step back as they back it up to the 36-yard line, 1st down and 15.
But this is an offense as well that's geared to come back from a deficit like this, right? And they've proven that so far here in the first half.
Here's a carry right side, Hines. Trying to get some of that back, right? Right there, you're aiming if you can get 4 or 5, get you back to right around where the line of scrimmage was.
Exactly right.
And he did close.
Right, just trying to take what you can get there and see if we can get the playbook back to normal, if you will.
But now let's flip the script, talk about O'Gorman here. Probably 4-down territory for the Tigers. So O'Gorman's got to know you got 12 yards, 3 plays to lock this down.
And Harrisburg's going to play it like that. They're probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they run it here again just to try to get to a good 4th down spot. And
play action, Hines. Knuth nearly lost the football, takes a shot, intercepted! A leaping grab by Hunter Cox, and the Knights will take over.
Ball looked like it was just a little bit underthrown there, and Cox undercut it, and a big-time play for O'Gorman as they try to get something going here offensively and try to sustain a drive before the end of the first half.
Well, and more importantly than getting something going offensively, getting the stop defensively, because Harrisburg scored on their last drive, and this drive started pretty strong too. Schlimgen motions right to left, 2 receivers either side. Black to throw, and that's one they're glad fell incomplete. Really good defense there by Harrisburg. That play was sniffed out really well, and again, if he catches it, it's probably a 4 or 5 yard loss. So one of those that you're glad didn't end up being a completion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was just a great play by the defensive end, and I think it's probably because he's seen that screen pass a couple different times now, so he probably realized, oh, these offensive linemen aren't blocking me right away. It's a screen pass, and he read it really well.
It'll be interesting to see if they try to take a shot, right? They've kept their passing pretty simple so far today. 2nd down and 10. Here's Black. He's just going to run it, puts his foot in the ground. He gets hit hard. But he does have a nice little carry here of about 6 yards, and will bring up about 3rd and 4.
Yeah, 3rd and manageable. They didn't win 1st down, but they won 2nd down. Puts themselves in a good position here to convert.
3:30 to go here in the quarter. Schlimgen motions left to right. Now they're going to throw a screen back to him. Schlimgen around the edge, gets a 1st down across the 25. They're just going to pick his legs up. With one leg, he keeps pushing forward and is finally dropped past the 30-yard line.
And we mentioned Harrisburg's trying to get the ball in their best players' hands. Well, this is O'Gorman's version of getting the ball in their best players' hands. A great play design and a great execution and a great finish by Schlimgen.
Well, impressive, too. They've tried to pick up a leg, and he still moved forward. He got 1 foot on the ground, and that was enough to get another yard.
He's hopping with 1 leg, and he's getting another yard. Just what strength by Schlimgen.
Well, we know he's got the measurables because he's headed to South Dakota State. Black to fire it in the flat. Caught by Teasy. Makes the first guy miss, but then the second and third come in. And again, Jordan, we've talked about that today. Harrisburg's clearly worked on it in practice, getting as many hats to the ball as you can.
Yeah, exactly right. And for week one, they're doing a fantastic job of that. And you can tell it's something that they stress within their program. And it's showing.
Well, that's the first thing any defensive coach or coordinator or whatever will say, right? They work on that a ton from when you're a kid to when you're college, even in the NFL.
Exactly right. It's just hustle and effort. That's all it is.
Hand off Teasy. Spun around and dumped after about a 2-yard gain. Yeah, it's going to bring up third down.
On a tackle for the Tigers, number 70, Kyle Lake. Gain of 2, third down and 5.
Final minute and a half here of quarter. Number 2. Third down and 5. Big play coming up here. Black climbs the pocket, wants to run. He's got a long way to go and a lot of jerseys in front of him. I think he got about 3. And so it's going to bring up kind of a short 2. Long 1, you could make an argument either way. But good job by that Harrisburg defense again. And now they're going to have a clock stoppage on the play. And you can see on the left leg of the player running off here, he's got a little blood. Player just had some blood dripping down his leg, and so simply put, he's got to come out of the game. You can hear that Harrisburg crowd getting a little loud across the way. It is packed over there. But here comes O'Gorman with a big play coming up.
And I think if you're O'Gorman, you got to find a way to get it into Schlimgen's hands here, right?
Or sometimes the best thing to do with Schlimgen, too, is to not throw it to him. Use him as a decoy. And I don't know. I think with a 7-0 game, you get the ball to start the second half. I think you punt here. Play the field position game, and I think that's what they're going to do as O'Gorman uses their second timeout.
I'd like to remind everybody it's still on at halftime.
I think this conversation, Jordan, is simply we're going to punt the football, right? We don't want to give them short field position with the limited time that's left, 30 seconds left here in the half.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You make a great point there, too. I mean, if they don't get it, Harrisburg's got the ball at the 40-ish yard line. We've seen how good their quarterback and receivers are so far. They've already had a long touchdown pass. I think the smart thing is to punt it and then force Harrisburg to take it into the second half.
Well, and you talk about that, too. The key to get it into halftime is important.
Fourth and 1 for the Knights. From their own 41. Back to punt number 9, Talon Black. Back to receive for the Tigers, number 3, Brayden Feldy.
And so they will punt it away. Feldy back to return. He's had a couple nice plays already today. Low snap and a very high punt that doesn't go anywhere. It'll bounce back at the 48-yard line. And there's a flag. Did the punter get run into, or what was else happened back there? Get the call from the head official here, as he's got to get out of the way of the O'Gorman group to look at us. Running into the kicker, that's a 5-yard penalty, and that'll be enough for a first down.
That's good for the Knights. First down.
Just what O'Gorman needed there. But now, unfortunately, you were playing the clock game, so you used your final timeout. So you're without any timeouts right now. So the question becomes, what do you do if you're O'Gorman? Near side throw, hauled in by Teasy. He's got to get out of bounds, finding the sideline 40, and stopped with 14 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Good little carry. That carry, run after catch is the word I was looking for. Got it up to the 41. Not sure what O'Gorman has for a kicker, but either way, you can take a shot at a long field goal if you can get some more yards, or you just maybe have a shot at a Hail Mary. Here's Black on the keeper. He's in trouble, and that could be the end of the half. They will hurry to the football, but the clock ticks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the whistle is blown. If there was one more second, they would have been able to get it off, but they are unable to. And so we go to halftime. O'Gorman trails it, 7-0 in the 46th annual Bob Burns Dakota Bowls. We're going to step aside, have a halftime report, and much more coming up from here at McEnany Field. 7-0, Harrisburg leads in the Dakota Bowl. We'll be back after this halftime break. You're watching high school football on Kelo Extra.
Whether it's damaged or just seen better days, replacing your roof is as easy as contacting H&H Roofing. Call to schedule your free no-obligation inspection today. Protect your home from the elements. H&H Roofing, we've got you covered.
When something isn't right, it's natural to want to talk to somebody about it. It's not shameful to be healthy for you.
When you just need someone to talk to, contact Rising Hope Counseling.
Hi, I'm Jill Janicki from Rising Hope, and I want you to know it's okay to ask for help. At Rising Hope Counseling, we offer counseling and psychiatric medication.
Rising Hope Counseling, because if you have hope, you have everything.
Leveled up living at its finest. With Creston Properties apartments, villas, and townhomes, you will. Enter a new age of modern living where first-class amenities come standard. Resort-style pools, state-of-the-art fitness centers, outdoor kitchens, even private theater rooms. You only live once. Why not enjoy it? Experience more living with Creston Properties. Call or go online today to schedule your private tour.
What's going on in here?
I almost had it.
Had what?
The bat you just let out.
That's it. I've had it. We need to call the professionals.
At CP Bat Mitigation, we are the professionals. Local, family, and veteran-owned business with over 15,000 jobs completed, servicing residential and commercial properties. Call or go online today to schedule your free inspection.
Every bat deserves a home, just not yours. You're out of mosquitoes.
Small businesses create jobs. In fact, 62% of jobs are created by small business. When you buy local, you support local small businesses that provide jobs and incomes. These are the same stores that support your schools, your community, and your neighbors. Buying local makes an impact on the lives of everyone in your community, including creating jobs. This Buy Local message is sponsored by Kelloland Media Group and these local supporters.
When it's as important as your home, don't settle for just anyone. H&H Roofing are your local experts who know how to get the job done right. Family owned and serving our area for over 10 years. Don't wait. H&H Roofing, we've got you covered.
High school football live on Kelo Extra, sponsored by Davenport Evans, Rising Hope Counseling, Northwest Tire, VOA, USD School of Health Sciences, Sanford Health, River Ridge Oral and Maxillofacial Surgical Center, and H&H Roofing. The Kelloland Game of the Week halftime show starts now.
Welcome in the studio for our halftime show. I'm Anya Joseph. Week 1 of the high school football season was played on Friday, but it wasn't the only sport to get fully underway. The high school volleyball season started earlier this week, featuring a familiar name to tonight's action. Second-ranked O'Gorman hosted Yankton to open the season back on Tuesday. Pick it up early on in set one. O'Gorman up 7-3, and the Knights set up Tatum Beckham to swoop in from left. She'll knock down the kill, making it 8-3 OG. A few minutes later, the Knights widened the gap by 11. They'd come up for the collaborative block. Kyra Hermanson sees an opening. She slams it down for the kill. Hosts up 17-5. Late in the set, Slow and Steady gets the kill. Knights send it up to Mackenzie Walsh, who registers the knockdown kill, making it 22-6 OG. They'd claim the set 25-9, and O'Gorman would claim the 3-0 sweep over Yankton. The top-ranked Tigers opened their title defense against Brandon Valley on Thursday. In the first set, Harrisburg is off to a strong start when Jocelyn Samuel sets Gabby Zachariason, who hammers the kill off the defense. Tigers lead 15-7. But Brandon Valley would start to close the gap. Ashlyn Earlt collects one block, and moments later, she gets another one to earn the point. Lynx trail 17-12. Late in the set, Harrisburg continues to push the pressure. Samuels places a serve in the right spot for an ace. They'd win set 1 25-13 as the Tigers start the season with a 3-0 sweep over Brandon Valley. Moving to Class A preseason number 1, Sioux Falls Christian played at T area. The Chargers won the first set, and they'd keep the momentum rolling in the second. Remington Beckert had to adjust to set for the kill. Christians leads 19-6. Moments later, the Titans try to close the gap. They'd set up Kendall Waltner, and the sophomore would get the kill off the defense. T trails by 12. Fast forward to set point for the Chargers. It's Addison Barber who sets Bretta Timms, and she smokes a kill that the Titans can't handle. They win set 2 25-10, and then set 3 as well, as Sioux Falls Christian tallies a 3-0 sweep over T area. Up the road in Del Rapids, the second-ranked Warriors met Elkton Lake Benton on Tuesday. In the first set, Del Rapids starts fast. Sophie Randall sets Madeline Henry, who goes across court for the kill. Warriors build an early 5-point lead. The Elks would find their groove not long after. Andrea Rinkley smokes a kill off the defense for the point. Elkton Lake Benton trails 15-12, but Del Rapids would pull away and face set point when Henry drops the hammer on a serve for the ace. Dells take set 1 25-17, and they'd build off that momentum on their way to a 3-0 sweep over Elkton Lake Benton. A big sporting event is set to make its annual return to Sioux Falls. KELOLAND's Travis Fossing tells us how the Sanford International is now in its 7th year and is working to stay on top of its game.
The annual late summer build is currently underway at Minnehaha Country Club in advance of the Sanford International.
We're in a really good spot. Build's coming along really great. We have a lot of the same vendors that are in from previous years. That always helps that consistency.
Davis Trozen is a tournament director and says the PGA Tour Champions event is also looking to keep things fresh, right down to who's playing the course.
Pro-Am is one of the best events that we have in a part of our tournament week where you can play with one of these professionals in the field in tournament play. And they're doing some sweepstakes to get the general public an opportunity to play in that rather than just corporations and businesses and whatnot.
But MCC will be ready for the pros come tee time.
Course is in fantastic shape. I mean, I always give Dave Swift, Ryan Lehrman, their entire team such kudos because they just, every year they kind of amaze us with how much better it can be.
Today we applied our final application to stand on the greens to ensure a smooth playing surface and to have firmer conditions on the green.
Ryan Lehman is a senior assistant superintendent and wants to see the course play firm and fast.
So if Mother Nature can help us out and not give us any rain, the golf course is going to set up perfect for it.
Steve Stricker is a 3-time Sanford International champion and has won back-to-back titles. But a three-peat is no gimme.
Ernie Els is playing some great golf this year. He's leading the Charles Schwab Cup. A guy named Richard Green, who's kind of an unknown to people that don't follow those PGA Tour champions. He's playing some great golf and will be back. 8 of the top 10 in the Charles Schwab Cup standings will be here, so it's sure to be a competitive event.
In Sioux Falls, Travis Fossing, KELOLAND News.
The Sanford International will run through September 9th through the 15th at the Minnehaha Country Club. There will be activities throughout the week, including the Pro-Am rounds on Wednesday and Thursday, followed by the 54-hole tournament beginning Friday the 13th. And high school football live coverage continues next week as the game of the week hits the road. It'll be a Class 11A showdown in Del Rapids as the two-time defending state champ Warriors cross paths with Madison. Kickoff for that game is set for 7:05. Pregame will begin at 7 o'clock on KELOLAND.com and Kelo Extra. Well, that's all the time we have back here in the studio. We'll take you back to the field for more in our halftime show right before this commercial break.
Showcase your handmade products.
Be a part of the excitement at the KELOLAND Living Arts and Crafts Show.
Probably have done this for 3-4 years. Every year is better. If you're just starting out, excellent place to come because they do all the commercials for you. I've had a lot of people say, oh, I saw you on television, and it's an excellent place to go.
Space is limited. Claim your booth at the KELOLAND Living Arts and Crafts Show October 18th and 19th.
Register now at KELOLAND.com.
Oral surgery isn't something we typically think about until we need it. At River Ridge Oral and Facial Surgery in Sioux Falls, we ensure you're taken care of during every step of your oral surgery journey. For the past 20 years, we have been here to provide superior oral health for you and your loved ones, and we look forward to taking care of you for the next 20 years. Go to riverridgeoralsurgery.com to learn more. Rediscover your smile with help from our dedicated team at River Ridge Oral and Facial Surgery Center.
Brandon welcomes Northwest Tire to the community. From top brands to top-notch service, Northwest Tire provides quality tire and repair services to keep your vehicle going strong. All makes, all models, all sizes. If it goes around, you'll find it here. Check out nwtire.com for a complete list of services and specials. Also wishing all high school football players a safe and exciting season.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
You can't turn back time, but you can feel like a kid again at Candy Cloud Factory.
We can't take them anywhere.
We're a cotton candy creation station, also featuring SDSU ice cream and other local favorites. Plus, classic hard-to-find candies that taste just like you remember. And be sure to try one of our magical cotton candy tacos or burritos. Big kids welcome, because you're never too old for Candy Cloud Factory on Phillips Avenue and with Intoxibakes at the Empire Mall.
Need a new Mac? Jason with Mac Doctors is in. Mac need attention? Eric is your everything Mac certified technician. Repair work always receives priority attention at Mac Doctors. Sure, we stock all your favorite Mac products like iPads, MacBooks, and iMacs, but we're also your friendly, local experts who know Mac products inside and out. You won't find that anywhere else. Apple sales and service with a great bedside manner. Mac Doctors, your Mac headquarters, West Russell, Sioux Falls.
Going on here out at McEnany Field, and that's because right before we came back to the field here, they turned the lights off, and so we can't see. It's a little brighter than the camera makes it look, but they're about to start shooting off fireworks, so we'll let you see the tail end of the fireworks. But why don't we first jump into the conversation that Jordan DeSmit just had with Coach Brandon White.
Head coach Brandon White, and coach, it's been a defensive battle so far. What's been the key to your defense?
Just playing fast. Reading our keys right now. We got to make sure we do that in the second half. When we start getting tired, your eyes wander. So we got to keep that up in the second half. But we knew it was going to be a dogfight.
Absolutely. You hit a deep shot, literally right behind us over here. What made you want to call that in that situation?
We just felt like we got the coverage earlier in the series, and we knew we could come back to it. Braden's a great football player. Sam kind of called, hey, I think we can get this, and it worked out good for us.
And it looks like the game plan has been for both sides to try to get on the outside, to try to use your speed. What was the reasoning for that?
Mr. Slim getting inside number 2 is a pretty big beast in there, so it's hard to run right at him. So we have to use all the gaps up front offensively. We still got to run in the A gaps, but it's just got to be differently, at different times and mix and match it for us. They're the same. They got a lot of speed over there in the backfield. They're trying to get to our edge too, but I think our guys are coming up and tackling well.
Absolutely. So what adjustments do you need to make here in the second half?
Just clean up our mistakes. You know, Sam locked in on a couple guys there that we had open guys running free. I think the nerves are out now. I think we'll play a little bit better here. We just got to get some turnovers. You know, we gave him a pick, and then we turned it over on a punt return. So we're down 2-0 in those, and we got to get those back.
Absolutely. Well, good luck in the second half, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much.
All right, there's Coach White, and we'll send it back to the booth with Grant.
And thank you, Jordan. You can kind of hear it in the background. The bangs of the fireworks. And you can see against that beautiful sunset that's going on right now. And Jordan DeSmit just came back up to the booth here. Jordan, quite the look for your first Dakota Bowl, right? With the fireworks and everything, and a great game to go with it.
I wasn't expecting all this for the Dakota Bowl. You had people filling the parking lot, tailgating. You have food vendors. You have these awesome fireworks as well. The crowd's packed. Maybe the most packed crowd that I've seen for a high school game, and I'm not complaining. It's quite the show they put on here at O'Gorman.
They do it all out. And we'll just kind of enjoy this fireworks show here for a second. It's kind of fun to watch, so certainly about it, as they continue to fire them off here. I mean, you talk about firing them off. Harrisburg playing really good there. Had a really good drive. They got to feel good going in the half, and that's what Coach White told you when he talked to you a little bit ago.
Yeah, exactly right. I think what he was a little disappointed in was losing that turnover margin. Like you mentioned, he has a fumble. They also have an interception, and that's what's really holding them back from being up 3 scores, right? Because I think both those interceptions were in O'Gorman territory, right? So we'll see if they can clean that up and maybe pull away here in the second half.
You know, they do have to feel pretty good. The interception happened at about the 10-yard line. The fumble happened at the 20-yard line. So those are 2 plays where they're going into the red zone that if they don't happen, they could be right where they want to be. Speaking of right where they want to be, there's about 5,000 to 7,000 fans right where they want to be, enjoying this beautiful fireworks show that they have going on here. It adds to the real cool festivities of the Dakota Bowl. And Jordan, we've talked about it all week. Now you're kind of feeling what the Dakota Bowl is like and why the 46th one keeps getting better every year. We had parachuters earlier in the game. We'll show you video of that here in a little bit. A flyover, now fireworks. They go all out.
And when you're telling me pregame that they're going to have people land on the field and try to hit a target from a plane, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. At a high school game, they're doing this stuff, and it's just awesome. And those guys, I think the closest guy was, about 5 yards away from that target midfield?
Got close. Yeah.
And they're talking before that how they're making it sound like, oh, this is going to happen. They're going to hit that target. I'm like, I don't know. We were talking about, it was a 10 by 10 foot thing they put right in that O'Gorman shield at midfield.
Well, and people you can see slowly driving down 41st Street. It's hard to tell in the background of our shot. They're kind of enjoying the fireworks, too. You don't get many fireworks 100 feet from 41st Street, but that's kind of neat. Well, we're going to step aside for now. We're going to have more in our halftime show coming up. But for now, we'll have more coming up. This is the 46th annual Bob Burns Dakota Bowl under the beautiful sunset and fireworks on Kelo Extra.
Transform your career with the VOA Dakota's Choices program. As a residential supervisor, you'll lead direct care staff and guide your team to success while serving people on the path to transformation. Help people and get paid to make a difference. Visit voa-dakotas.org to learn more and apply. That's voa-dakotas.org.
Wherever you are on your cycling journey, at Spoken Sport, we ride alongside you, serving Sioux Falls since 1988 with equipment, apparel, and more. Your local experts on everything bikes, fittings, and service. Fuel your passion or outfit the entire family. Spoken Sport is also your local e-bike headquarters with several styles and models in stock. If it has to do with cycling, you'll find it here. Spoken Sport with 2 convenient Sioux Falls locations. Escape the ordinary.
When something isn't right, it's natural to want to talk to somebody about it.
It's not shameful to be healthy for you.
When you just need someone to talk to, contact Rising Hope Counseling.
Hi, I'm Jill Janicki from Rising Hope, and I want you to know it's okay to ask for help. At Rising Hope Counseling, we offer counseling and psychiatric medication.
Rising Hope Counseling, because if you have hope, you have everything.
Mike, Harvey.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Boom. Good to have you back where you belong.
Hey, am I Spock or Kirk?
Uhura.
Walks right into it. Yeah, baby. Butch and Sundance are back.
Good. We're gonna have some fun.
Up top. Come on.
I haven't even told you the best part yet.
What? You only got 2 weeks to live?
Nice. You gotta give the people what they want.
Coming this fall to Kello Extra.
Showcase your handmade products.
Be a part of the excitement at the KeloLand Living Arts and Crafts Show.
Good variety of vendors, and we feel like we have a unique of our own products. All the vendors that I can see there have a unique part of the show, and there's nothing that's really the same.
Space is limited. Claim your booth at the KeloLand Living Arts and Crafts Show October 18th and 19th.
Register now at KeloLand.com.
Well, the fireworks are done. It ended just moments after we went to commercial break. And Jordan, to go with that, the lights take a minute to come back on. So right now, video-wise, all we got is this really nice sunset over Western Sioux Falls right now. But we also got ourselves a really good game that we've seen so far.
Absolutely. It's been a defensive battle, but it really hasn't felt like a boring game to watch, right? That's sometimes a complaint for some people when they have defensive battles like this. Both teams have done a good job of driving the ball down the field, I think. I think O'Gorman just hasn't been able to finish their drives. But it's been a good game between two teams, two good teams in 11 AAA that are just kind of playing and feeling out this chess match that they have between each other.
Well, and let's look back just a little bit at some things that we saw earlier today. We talked about the parachuters. Well, we had 2 parachuters fly in. Let's take a look at what they did before the game. This was the first parachuter that came in.
You and I were both like, hit the brakes, hit the brakes.
Yeah, coming in just a little hot, and then he was short. He landed about the 35-yard line. And then we take a look at the second guy that came in. He got a lot closer, but you see that target just off to the side. Still, it was a cool way to start the day here at the Dakota Bowl.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was, I mean, it's not something you see even at like a college game or an NFL game, and O'Gorman's here pulling it off for their opening game of the season. It's just really awesome, the festivities they put on, the show they put on. A great job by that O'Gorman administration as well, organizing all this. I can't imagine how much organizing went into that, along with this and the flyover that we saw during the national anthem. It's just been a really fun night so far.
Let's go back and see what replays we dialed up in the first half to kind of talk about what we saw. This was the first one, Jordan. We had that fumble from Braden Feldy, and that was a big one for O'Gorman because Harrisburg, as we talked about, was getting into the red zone there.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I'd like to point out Feldy has done a great job of rebounding since then, right? He had that touchdown catch in the end zone later, which we'll probably see, and he's had a couple good catches on the perimeter.
Yeah, and that was an important play that probably kept points off the board for the Tigers.
Yeah, exactly. We mentioned this earlier in the halftime. It's 7-0, but it very easily could be 21-0 if Harrisburg doesn't turn the ball over. So O'Gorman's done a great job of forcing opportune turnovers, and they're still right in this game.
Take a look at another replay here. This was one of the plays that we saw a nice sharp throw. Knuth connecting with his receiver, and there's Feldy. You talk about redeeming himself. He's done really good at that all game.
And Knuth, a good job of just trusting his guy, right? I mean, he fumbled the ball earlier, but they're not going to stop going to him. And Feldy's had a good game responding to that first quarter fumble.
An impressive throw on the run, too, completing that one to Feldy as we continue to look at the replays and highlights we saw from the first half. Here's a touchdown. Feldy, you see, beat his man on a post pattern. It was a really pretty play.
Exactly, really pretty ball as well. Just, I mean, good fundamental football, right? It's just a simple post route. I mean, run to the goalpost, and that's where he ended up. Good ball, good timing, and a great catch by Feldy.
As we look at it again, this is the reason that there's points on the board. Feldy on the receiving end of a 24-yard touchdown, and that's what made it 7-0. They're still waiting for the lights to turn on here.
O'Gorman has made their way back on the field. We'll see if I can get a shot at them. You can't.
They've attempted to. No, you can't see a thing. Looking at more replays, this was a big 4th down conversion, completing it to Feldy out in space, and we can continue to say his name for a reason here, Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. He's made a huge impact on this game. He's been Harrisburg's best player so far, and it makes sense because they've been trying to feed him the ball, and their offensive coordinator's just done a good job of making sure the ball's in his hands.
And that replay, one that we just missed, but you can see the emotion on that interception. That was the big interception that O'Gorman had.
I mean, there's been a lot of emotion throughout the whole game, right? I mean, both sides. I mean, this is game number 1. A lot of nerves come into this game, and it's a big rivalry, right? It's the Dakota Bowl, and I think those players knew exactly how big that interception was because it kept it at 1 score. Harrisburg was on their way into the end zone, so we'll see if it looks like O'Gorman's getting the ball first, correct? So we'll see if their offense can do something here as they try to tie it up.
And we have our first sighting of one of the light poles given the attempt to turn back on. These lights have to go through a cool down cycle. They have to cool off before they can turn back on, and they're slowly turning on, and then there'll be a 3-minute timer that brings us back. We'll put that timer on the board so you can follow along once they do get it started. They haven't started the 3-minute timer yet, Jordan, but you can kind of see those weird colored helmets because there's only about, of all the 3 poles, there's about 7 lights that are on one of them.
Yeah, exactly. It is just interesting. So, I mean, these stadium lights, I mean, they're state-of-the-art, but it's crazy how long it takes for them to fire up.
You know, the new lights, the LED ones, we saw those at Canastota. Those new ones flip on and off like a light switch.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if O'Gorman can maybe bring those over here to the field. But I don't know, maybe not a huge need for them, but it's been a fun
They still have nice lights here. These lights aren't very old. They're just one generation old enough that we have to have the recycle.
And as we're speaking, here comes Harrisburg back onto the field. To the roar of their crowd.
Yeah, the Tigers coming back onto the field, and again, they got to feel pretty good with how they've played so far.
Yeah, exactly. Playing shutdown defense, we mentioned. I mean, we've seen 3, 4, 5 passes just about every tackle for Harrisburg. Offensively, they've been doing what they can. They need to finish drives and cut down on those turnovers. But I think we're going to see a lot of Knuth to Feldy here in the second half. That's if O'Gorman can't find a way to stop it.
Well, and for both teams, it's about finishing drives. But part of that for O'Gorman, they've been playing with their heels on their own goal line for a lot of time, right? I mean, they've been battling the field position game all day.
And Harrisburg has won that field position game, I would say. I mean, O'Gorman did let a couple of punts bounce when they probably shouldn't have. That cost them a good, 20, 30 yards. We'll see if their punt returners can get a little more confidence to field it off a hop or field it in the air.
Well, and Jordan, as a former college athlete, you'd be a good guy to ask. So what are some keys that you're going to see here in the second half? Let's start with the team that might be a little easier to come up with keys, the team that's in the lead, Harrisburg.
I mean, Harrisburg is just keeping doing what you're doing. They've been trying to get Feldy in space. I mean, and Coach White mentioned this to me at halftime, is that they're going to keep doing what they're doing, getting guys out in space. And they mentioned they want to try to stay away from Schlimgin, right? Because that's a big reason why they haven't gone in between the tackles here so far, but eventually they're going to have to. And we'll see if their linemen can maybe get up to the second level and get Schlimgin. It's going to be hard, but I'd like to see a little more power football to challenge Schlimgin there up in the middle.
Well, then you turn it around and you look at what O'Gorman needs to do You know, defensively, they haven't been too bad today, but the offense has just been in some tough spots.
I mean, really, for their defense, it's been one play, right? Maybe, I don't know if it was a busted coverage, but just one guy getting beat there in the end zone. I mean, defensively, they have to feel pretty happy about where they're at. I think offensively, I think their new quarterback has done a good job, and they've gotten some things going. I don't think there's a whole lot they need to change to maybe keep doing what they're doing, but they need to make sure they keep their focus and then keep that momentum during their drives.
Well, we will see here when the second half finally gets underway. I think we can count on one hand how many lights we're missing, but they won't start the 3-minute warm-up period yet. And so this halftime taking quite some time. Now, unfortunately, it gives us a second to kind of talk about the disappointing side of what a late start like this can happen, and that's that the news airs on Kello Extra at 10 o'clock tonight. Our directors and wonderful people back at the station need a little time for them to get ready for that 10 o'clock news. So when the 9:45 minute hits, we have to be off air here, and we'll still carry the full game, though. KelloLand.com will have the remainder of the game no matter what. But 9:45, a good reminder as we kind of look at the clock here. They are finally running it, so that helps a little bit. But we are about 50 minutes away from the kill time for tonight's game on Kello Extra. But that's okay. Either way, we'll get to see a finish here. And we've seen such a good game so far. And I don't know if anybody had this as a 7-0 game right now.
I was expecting a lot more offense, especially with the amount of really firepower we have on both sides. We have guys that are getting Division I attention, even some NAIA D2 attention that are just all over the field. There's a lot of talent, but maybe a little rust here week one, but it's been a fun game and it's been a fun battle in the trenches as well.
Well, we take a look at the other game that was happening over in Brandon, and that was a good game, Jordan. We looked at it in the third quarter. Sioux Falls, Washington led 7-6 at that point. Brandon Valley scores the last 14 points, and Brandon Valley wins it 20-7. And so the Lynx with a nice win, but Washington with maybe a little bit of a statement to say, we battled there.
I mean, exactly right. I don't know what kind of expectations Washington has this season. I know they've been down the past few years, but they showed, hey, we have a good team. We can hang with a good team here. And another defensive battle. I think I even saw some Brandon people walk in as I was coming back up before halftime. So
why not make it over after watching one good game in the Pigskin Classic? Why not come over here?
And I think we're going to see another good finish here. And I also add to your note about us going off air at 9:45. We'll also have a QR code flash right before we have to go off air at 9:45. So you can scan that. That'll bring it to KelloLand.com to finish this game. That's if we have to go off air. I've seen faster halves. We'll have about, 45 minutes or so?
Yeah, about 45 minutes. There's a
chance.
There's a chance. Let's put it out there. We're saying there's a chance. And you see the student section there getting ready to go as the clock winds down and runs out. And we get ready for the third quarter here, Jordan. O'Gorman with the football. Adjustments you get to make at halftime and a chance to maybe grab the lead. Well, tie it up, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. And if anybody was watching the Iowa Hawkeye game like I was today, me being from Iowa, I thought it was going to be the same old story for the Hawkeyes. They're only up 6-0 at halftime, but we saw that offense just absolutely explode here in the second half. And I think that a lot of that had to do with the adjustments they made at halftime. So who knows? Maybe this game picks up here and we see more scoring here in the second half.
You know, Jordan has been talking about Iowa and their offense scoring more than 20 many times today. I was waiting for the moment, Jordan, where you had to interject the Iowa game into our broadcast.
I mean, you know I had to, right?
It was coming. It made all the fans happy to see a little bit of success with the offense against the FCS opponent, Illinois State. And we're underway, kind of, a flag and maybe an offside to start the half.
One more thing I'll add about Iowa, and then I'll stop, okay? If you've seen the offense that we've seen the past 2 years, you're happy about 40 points today.
Well, anybody's happy about a win and 40 points.
But I think Iowa fans are extra happy about that.
You talk about other games that happened today. South Dakota State suffered a season-opening loss to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State looked really good, and I think SDSU struggled, but they struggled because they're facing a really good team. I don't think it was anything more than that. That Oklahoma State, I mean, the way they look today could be a playoff team, I think.
And you're exactly right. They're ranked number 17 in the nation, and also SDSU playing in a pretty hostile environment. Maybe the first time they've played an environment like that since they lost at Kinnick Stadium a couple years ago.
A lot closer game that day. Here's Teasy. He slips at the 1. Couple players slip. There's a big block. Down the sideline. Teasy's trying to change it on his own. Thrown out of bounds past midfield. No flags. And a big return for O'Gorman.
And there's a spark that O'Gorman needed right there. They're finally in good field position. We'll see if they can take advantage of it here.
Exactly what the doctor ordered.
First and 10 for the Knights from R49.
So here comes first down and 10. O'Gorman would love to take advantage of starting on their side of the 50. Well, not their side of the 50. Officially marked it at the 49 of O'Gorman. So 1 yard away, but that's about as close as you can get, right?
I mean, yeah, you're exactly.
Short carry there, no gain. Second down.
I mean, not a lot of running room there. I mean, another great job by that Harrisburg defensive line. We see them play with pretty good pad level throughout the game, and another good example there.
Second down and 10 yards to go after the no gain on the play. Here's Black rolling near side, laser to Schlimgen, and he couldn't make the connection.
I think Schlimgen may be thinking about trying to keep his feet in bounds, maybe focusing on that, took his focus off the ball, and that resulted in an incomplete pass.
Well, throw a little bit behind him, too. Tough play, and Black do it, put a little velocity on it, too, and just too tough of an adjustment to make.
If you're O'Gorman, you have to take advantage of this good field position here. This needs to be converted.
Black climbs the pocket. He finds a hole. 45-40. Spun around from behind. First down.
Great pass protection up front. Gave him the opportunity to step up with nobody open and plenty of green grass for Black to run.
You know, that's been a side of the ball, watching Black, that has had success tonight, right? They've had success running the football with the quarterback, especially on design passes.
Exactly. He has great pocket presence for his first start, 100%.
There's a carry up the middle, and a pretty good one at that, too. Schimmel on the tackle. Hamrich rolling forward for 9 yards. And, man, after that kickoff, it seemed to bring a little juice to the O'Gorman sideline and offense.
And you can see the difference in the sideline. I mean, these guys are getting a lot more excited now.
Well, and right there, you see a really good push, pushing forward for the first down.
I mean, sometimes all it takes is just a little bit of belief, right? I've won a couple big plays, and all of a sudden this team thinks, yeah, I mean, we have all the ability in the world to drive down the field on this team.
First and 10, they keep marching. They hand it to Hamrich, who just had a couple of productive carries. This one, not so much. Just a 1 yard gain on that play, and they'll bring up second down.
You know, Gorman thinking we're just going to keep running up the gut until they stop it. Harrisburg stopped it, and we'll see what kind of response that O'Gorman has here on second down.
Second down and 9 yards to go here in the 46th annual Bob Burns Dakota Bowl. on a gorgeous night for it, too. You can't ask for a better night for the last day of August. 2nd and 9, deep drop, throws underneath. He's got Schlimgen at the 20. Schlimgen bounces off a defender, spinning forward to the 15-yard line. He does not have the first down, but he's got 8 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
And again, we're just seeing the power of Schlimgen. Refuses to go down, cuts inside, just keeps those legs turning like we've mentioned throughout the game. And another big play for Sullivan Schlimgen.
A lot of receivers there, Jordan, might take that to the boundary and try to use the boundary as their friend. Not right there, though. Sullivan Schlimgen's not going to the boundary. He wants the contact. Here's 3rd and 1. Handoff, Hamrich off the edge. He's hit initially by Feldy, but he's able to bounce off it and get the first down.
I mean, that's just it for these past 2 plays, right? I mean, it was 2nd and long, and we have 2 players who just didn't stop going. And now there's a first down, and O'Gorman in business. Just outside the 10.
Just outside the 10, their best drive of the day. But let's talk about that coinciding there, Jordan, with the fact that it is the first time today they've had really good field position. They've struggled with field position all game long, and now they finally got some good field position, and they're taking advantage of it here with a short carry there for about 3 yards, maybe 4. Give him 4, 2nd and 6.
I mean, it's just maybe a mental game, right? I think if you're lining up an offense and you're inside your own 10, you're looking at 90-plus yards down the field thinking, how in the world are we going to do this? And now, I mean, I think it's just a mental thing of like, I mean, we only have this far, and this is a lot more doable for us.
2nd down and about 6 from the 8, false start.
And that's just a backbreaker here if you're O'Gorman. You have all the momentum going on your side. And like we mentioned, 2 steps forward, now 1 step back.
2 steps forward and 1 step back is correct. So it'll remain 2nd down, but now it'll back way up. From the 21. Throws out near side and incomplete for Schlimgen.
Yeah, just threw a little behind him there. He has Schlimgen for a few yards there. Just got to put it on him.
Schlimgen might have had a little room to work, as you said there, Jordan. But now, how do you approach 3rd down? And you need to get down to the 2 here. So it's 3rd and 19.
I think that strategy is going to depend on how good their kicker is, how much confidence they have in their kicker. But I think in this situation, if your kicker is good enough, you take the 3. Otherwise, you try to get half here and make it a manageable 4th down.
Black rolls, throws, intercepted by Braden Feldy. He steps in front of it and picks it off. Oh, look at the replay. That's a great play from Feldy coming down from that safety DB position and making a big play, Jordan.
You're exactly right. And Feldy's been all over the field, right? Offense and defense. He's been a difference maker for this Harrisburg team. Makes another great play, and the best O'Gorman drive that they've had, he stymies.
Yes, he did. And so Harrisburg will take over with a little bit of momentum now. Carrying right side. Good little carry here across the 15 and nearing the 20. And that'll bring up first down. A first down carry, excuse me. 2nd down now. He was short of the marker.
We'll see if Harrisburg can just try to get a nice long drive going, kill some clock, and then try to go up 2 scores.
That would be ideal if you're Harrisburg, right? Here's a throw. There's a carry, excuse me, left side. And he's got enough for the first down. Didn't get it by a lot there, but going back to Hines again, right? They're really liking him. And we've talked about it. Both teams want to establish the run. Coach White talked about it at halftime, too, with you.
And, right, they're going in between the tackles there on that play, right? And they're challenging Schlimgen, and they're challenging these offensive linemen to get up to the second level and get Schlimgen. And a good job there. Got just enough for a first down.
I think that was my favorite part of your interview as you go. A lot of guys going off tackles today. And that was a great observation on your part. Here's Hines going off tackle again. Now cutting it back 30, 35, 40, dragging a defender all the way up past the 45-yard line. Mark it at the 47. And it's a run of about 25 yards and a beautiful carry for Josiah Hines.
And once again, challenging the middle of that heart of that O'Gorman defense.
And we're going to get a timeout on the field. We'll take one, too. This is high school football on Kello Extra.
It's as important as your home. Don't settle for just anyone. H&H Roofing are your local experts who know how to get the job done right. Family owned and serving our area for over 10 years. Don't wait. H&H Roofing, we've got you covered.
Oral surgery isn't something we typically think about until we need it. At River Ridge Oral and Facial Surgery in Sioux Falls, we ensure you're taken care of during every step of your oral surgery journey. For the past 20 years, we have been here to provide superior oral health for you and your loved ones, and we look forward to taking care of you for the next 20 years. Go to riverridgeoralsurgery.com to learn more. Rediscover your smile with help from our dedicated team at River Ridge Oral and Facial Surgery Center.
Whether it's damaged or just seen better days, replacing your roof is as easy as contacting H&H Roofing. Call to schedule your free no-obligation inspection today. Protect your home from the elements. H&H Roofing, we've got you covered.
The 46th annual Bob Burns Dakota Bowl continues here on Kello Extra and KelloLand.com. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sports Director Grant Sweeter, joined with news reporter and former Northwestern offensive lineman Jordan DeSmit. We've been treated to a good one so far tonight, Jordan. Your first Dakota Bowl is living up to the hype.
I mean, exactly right. I mean, both stands are packed. This is exactly what high school football should be, right? I mean, it's just a lot of pride in both of these schools, and it's been fun to be a part of.
No doubt about it. And we've had a front seat to it. Some really fun, competitive football. Second down and 9. They get Feldy in motion. Slips through some defenders. How did he get through that hole? And he'll pick up the first down. Feldy just kind of found about a 1 foot gap between a pair of defenders and guys blocking them, and somehow went right between them.
You know, sometimes that's all you need, right? I mean, these guys in the perimeter that Harrisburg's blocking, they just need to occupy space, right, when they're blocking, and a good job by Feldy finding that little bit of breathing room and getting a first down.
He has been shifty today. We've heard his name in years past, but it has been really fun following him tonight. Senior season. Hines right side. He's a fun guy to carry. Going inside the 40 down to the 33, and it's a gain of about 9 yards.
And I like this 1-2 punch of Harrisburg. You have your guy, your power guy inside of Hines, and then Feldy on the outside.
And we have an injury on the field. We will take a break with it. This is high school football on Kello Extra.
Orthopedic pain is limiting. It's unpredictable. And when it disrupts the way you move, it disrupts the way you live. Life is better when you feel empowered to move the way you want, when you want. And that's where our experts come in. We're your guides to orthopedic and sports medicine treatment options that can manage your pain, rehab your injuries, and restore your confidence. Take back the freedom to move. Explore your orthopedic options at Sanford Health.
So you want to work in healthcare? walk with us.
First, you got to find an area of focus that gets you excited.
This comes down to having the best professors and a lot of programs to choose from. You'll need to experience how a full healthcare team works in action.
So look for a place that will teach you in a real, collaborative setting.
If it doesn't have top-notch equipment and state-of-the-art labs,
you don't want it. Does the team you're joining have the power to connect you within the state's top healthcare systems? It's the team, the space, and the place that's going to get you where you want to be. It's USD.
The injured player able to walk off on his own power. That's always good to see. And we continue at 2nd and 2. Two players motion to the right. Pistol formation. Hines the pistol. They give it to him. He bounces it to the near side. He is grabbed. Stopped. Did they get the yard? No. Only got about a foot there. Great defense by the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mentioned how good this Harrisburg defensive line has played. Give a little up to the O'Gorman defensive line, and just a great job, first and second level of stuffing that play.
3rd down and 1. We'll do it again. Knuth. They said they want to run him more this season, and that's about the first time we've seen a designed run in the direction of Knuth. Haven't seen much in the way of the keeper, but that was something that the word has been out. They want to run Knuth a little bit more. It's something his brother had success with when he was here a few years ago.
Yeah, and Knuth looked good. He looked good, athletics, fast, and maybe the issue there that they haven't run with him so much is worried about it getting hurt, taking too many hits, but we'll see if they can work that in more as this game goes along and as the season goes along.
Well, and part of it, too, could be the fact that they've run so well with their running backs. Why run the quarterback when Hines has had the success he's had? Hey, what a move there, staying in bounds. Down the sideline he goes. How about that little shifty move?
I just love watching this guy run. I mean, I don't think the first guy is taking him down all night. Just a good, powerful, nothing but effort out of Hines all night so far.
You see that shifty move in our replay as Josiah Hines continues to have himself one heck of a Dakota Bowl. Much to the dismay of the O'Gorman fans. Go figure. He's out of the pistol. 3 receivers to the left. Now they're going to have Hines lead block for Knuth. Starting to see him run the ball a little bit more.
And not a bad idea to have Hines lead block there. Looked like a simple quarterback power play, nothing crazy, and just a good way to get 5 yards.
Well, and also with that, Jordan, you're trying to use him as bait, right? They think they're going to go with him, and instead, you know, you're kind of not really, right? You're kind of using him as we're going to go to him, but maybe we won't. Pistol formation, they give it to Hines. They just want to run the football, and they're having a ton of success. Hines bounces sideline and in. Touchdown, Harrisburg. 14 yards to the house, and Harrisburg has added on to the lead. It's 13-0.
And we just saw the athleticism there of Hines, right? We've been seeing it all night. We saw the power, and we saw just this raw athleticism, being able to tightrope the sideline and get into the end zone.
Now the extra point attempt coming, and the kick is up. Looks like it's good, and it is. Big addition to the offense there. You know, when you only have, Jordan, a one-score lead, there's so many things that could go wrong, right? You fumble, you throw a pick, you miss a tackle, and that could lead to the game getting tied. So much more margin for error having a 2-score lead, knowing anything O'Gorman does, they can't tie the game.
Right, and especially with how good their defense has been playing all game. I mean, a 2-possession game, that I'm not going to say it's going to seal the game, but it's going to make them feel a lot more comfortable as we're about to close the third quarter here.
Well, especially as you said, with the way the defense has played. They've played really well today.
You're exactly right, and they've got some turnovers at good opportune times like we just saw down there, some stops when they needed to get them, and it's just been a...
And let's take a look back at that replay, see if we landed it You see Hines slip that tackle, get that block out there from Knuth, and then take it in the end zone.
I mean, good unselfish play, right? A good block there by the sideline, and it sparked his teammate there for a touchdown.
But any good running back will tell you, I'm only as good as the guys giving me a hole, giving me a place to go. Because if they don't give him a place to go, well, he can run as hard or as many times as he wants. That one into the end zone. It's a touchback, and O'Gorman will bring it out. As that kid ends up, great shot from Cody there on the sideline. That kid ends up with the ball. Talk about a great job for a good moment there. He caught it.
It's been fun to see, too. Those kids have been out trying to catch extra points, too. It's been fun, and I think if you're a kid that age, these are memories that you're going to remember for a long time, right? Being out at a high school game, hanging out with your friends, and just loving this experience.
And that's the experience you get with the Dakota Bowl. It's certainly fun. Here's the throw out to the near side. And it is hauled in. Teasy bouncing around and then picking up some yards.
And if you're O'Gorman, this is make or break time. We're approaching the fourth quarter. We don't know how many more opportunities, how many more possessions this offense is going to have. So you need something out of this drive.
And now I think there's an injured player. As looks like a cramp. The second the other player gets on, he goes, I'm going to hobble off here. But I don't think it feels very good.
I've been there. Trust me, it does not.
You've been an offensive lineman with a cramp, I'm sure. That can't feel very good.
No, I've had calf cramps. I've had double quad cramps. You can imagine how bad that feels. But I'm assuming they have some Gatorade, maybe some pickle juice on the sideline, and the trainer's going to help.
You know, that's what I heard is pickle juice. Have you taken the pickle juice shot on the sideline?
I have.
And how gross is it?
It is awful. It is terrible. And I've gotten to the point where, like, during fall camp, I keep pickle juice in the fridge, and I'll drink pickle juice before practice.
And I got to ask with that, Jordan, in your pickle juice endeavors, do you like pickles?
I don't. I don't even like them.
So you wouldn't be a guy that would walk into the, put it on a burger or walk into the fridge and grab a pickle. You wouldn't do that.
No, I don't put it on my burgers. I'm a plain burger guy. I've just never been a huge pickle guy.
So what's with the pickle juice then? I would tell him I'm just not going to play anymore. Like, that does not sound good. I also don't prefer pickles. So the last thing I'm going to do is take a shot of pickle juice.
It's unpleasant, but it's just something you have to do to get back out there. You got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. Is that anything you did at Northwestern? Is that a college thing too?
Not necessarily, no.
Keep that in Larchwood. Here's a carry left side. Melbus has got a little bit of room, and I've liked what I've seen from him. They have picked and choose when they were going to run him. And right there, that one ran pretty well as he takes it for about 10 yards and a first down.
When you run those plays, you ask a lot out of your receivers blocking on the perimeter, right? Those are tough blocks out in space. Great job by those receivers, and it got O'Gorman a first down to keep this drive going.
Final minute. Quarter number 3. Rolling near side, firing, somehow slipping a tackle, running down the sideline. Hamrick still going, got the ball poked out at the last second. A little bit of extra pushing and shoving, but a nice play by Gavin Hamrick.
Catching traffic.
But there is a flag.
We might get a face mask there. So we might get another 5 or 15 depending
how they rule it.
Right.
Definitely. That's one thing in high school. College doesn't really do it anymore. But in high school, it's the intentional, unintentional. But I don't think it was a face mask. I think he got under it and grabbed the jersey.
Okay.
Kind of looked like it a little bit. But it looks like it's going to be a penalty on the offense as we get the call. Kind of looking in with Cody's camera down on the sideline. Cody East, our sideline photog today.
Great shot by Cody.
And if we tap into his mic too, we can hear the official call it in. Nice job by Cody down there. His first time on our sideline. We know he's been around, and you can tell that. He's done a great job all night long.
Still a first down here for O'Gorman.
They did get the first down. The block in the back came after the first down marker when you assess the 10-yard penalty. And go right back to Hamrich, because why not? He's had success. Just had that big play. And now an injured Tiger. He's able to get up.
Yeah, it's just physical.
Oh, no, not an injured Tiger. You have a player that lost a helmet. Matai Mayo.
And
that's a cool linebacker name if I heard one. Matai Mayo.
Matai Mayo? Almost, it sounds like Manti Te'o.
That would be.
Must
talented linebacker for Notre Dame. Final 5 seconds ticking away. Do they get it off in time? They don't. And the third quarter comes to a close that way. We'll step aside. 14-0 Harrisburg leads. This is high school football on Kello Extra.
Leveled up living at its finest. With Creston Properties apartments, villas, and townhomes, you will enter a new age of modern living where first-class amenities come standard. Resort-style pools, state-of-the-art fitness centers, outdoor kitchens, even private theater rooms. You only live once. Why not enjoy it? Experience more living with Creston Properties. Call or go online today to schedule your private tour.
Your Money Matters on KELOLAND News, taking you inside new industries.
We can build the project 2 months before being on site.
Keeping a close eye on the economy.
There's a lot of opportunity in agriculture right now.
What to watch out for.
If I sell my home to afford the next home, it might not make sense.
And where to cash in.
Many of our graduates have already secured employment in the fall because of early hiring.
Helping dollars make sense. Your Money Matters is sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
What is GMFB overtime? It's OMG highlights. LOL interviews on and off the field.
What is your running style?
I'm always trying to destroy whoever's in front of me.
Holy smoke!
It's the SMH moments.
Yeah!
And everything in between. GMFB overtime.
If you know, you know.
It's football for everyone.
Coming this fall to Kello Extra.
It's in the way that we begin our day. It's in our stories. It's the things we say. This is your home. This is the place where we can grow and love. In moments cherished that we take hold of. KELOLAND is what we call our home. This is our home. Yeah, this is your home.
Fourth quarter begins with the 45-yard line for O'Gorman. They're down 2 scores, but have the football. Big hit coming there, and nowhere to go. It'll bring up third down. How about that? Rallying to the football by Bradley Esser.
I mean, Esser, he just snuffed that out, read it like a book, saw the route in the flat, and then I think he might have read the quarterback's eyes, saw him about to throw it, and he made a great play.
Exactly what you want to see. Again, and then he hits him. The running back tries to break loose, and here's 3 more players.
Exactly, and that's running back won't go far when you have good gang tackling like that.
Here's a run out to the right. Schlimgen catches it, breaks a tackle, still going down the sideline. They'll finally bring down Schlimgen.
He has played.
How about a play there?
He has played so hard all night. I've been so impressed with Schlimgen.
That's good for another O'Gorman Knights. First down.
Look at that replay there, man, showing off that strength. And again, this is a guy that's committed to play at SDSU, right? And that's the Division I level, Jordan. You've played at Northwestern. There's a lot of talented players there, but you can tell these high school guys that can go play at that D1 level, and you're seeing it with the strength that he has shown tonight.
And Schlimgen, he's a guy that stands out. I mean, right away. He jumps off the page.
This is kind of a run, I think. That was a backwards pass. Tough to tell. Hamrich will lower his shoulder and then walk out of bounds.
And we might rule that as a rush here. Looked like a lateral from when I saw that lateral, I'm like, maybe a double pass, a little trick.
I got the stats guy next to me. Did they rule that as a run or a pass? That's a good question. They ruled it a run. So we are in agreement on that one, that it was a backwards pass, but it may not matter because there's a flag on the field. We'll see. The flag kind of way down the ways a little bit. The flag way back in the defensive area, and so the play will stand.
And we got another flag thrown. Might be in a sportsmanlike in Harrisburg here.
Yeah, I think Harrisburg just said something they shouldn't have said there, and so they're going to add 15 more on top of 15. And Mayo is upset. So is Coach White. Coach White on the far side of the field wants to know what just happened there.
And I'm guessing someone said something they shouldn't have. I mean, in that situation, it's a fourth quarter in the Dakota Bowl. I get your emotions are probably pretty high right now, but you have to keep them in check. And now O'Gorman's inside the 10. 30
that was 30 yards of penalty right there. Absolutely. Now they got to score. Black in some trouble, rolling right. He'll fire it. Here's Hamrick, with the catch. And after all is said and done, because Hamrick was so far behind the line of scrimmage, they actually lost a yard on that play.
This is 4-down territory for O'Gorman here. I mean, a field goal's not going to cut it. About 10 minutes left to go, down 2 scores, and we'll see if they dial up to try to get it in the end zone.
Second down. And goal to go from the 9. They motion a man right to left. Now the handoff. Straight forward. Hamrich nowhere to go. Harrisburg snuffs that out and stops it, and it's third down.
Now, if you're O'Gorman, you have 2 plays to get 9 yards here. And so I think you have to think about it as you got to try to get half here to make it more manageable in fourth down. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just go for 4 or 5 yards to give them a better fourth down shot at the end zone.
Here we go. Third down and goal. They hand it off forward. Hamrich muscling. He's not going to get there. But, Jordan, you're saying how you think it's 4-down territory. Why do you run on third down and goal? Third and long, to be specific. You do that to set up fourth down.
Exactly, to make it a more manageable fourth down. And now they're at the 2-yard line. And it makes it a lot easier for this offense to try to punch it in. Probably the biggest call of the game so far.
Fourth down. Schlemgen in the quarterback. Do they power with him? He'll hand it off. Hamrich. He's close to the goal line. Is he in? The pile up, no signal. They'll stop the clock. And he's short. Turnover on downs.
And that was about as close as you can get. I don't know if we have a good look at it on the replay.
It was as close as you can get. If you move the ball forward, it probably touches it. And you see Hamrich walking off there. The way he's not arguing makes me think he knows it too, Jordan. He ran into a brick wall, and the Tigers snuffed it down.
If you look at the close-up there by the goal line, I mean, look, it's the nose of the football is short of the goal line right there.
I was going to say, if the center adjusts it wrong, it could be a turnover. He could be in the end zone. Yeah, right? He could get it into the end zone right away.
Probably a quarterback sneak right here. It's a little tush-push.
And they will. Whoa, he didn't get more than a foot.
Great pad level by the O'Gorman defensive line. Didn't get much.
He didn't get more than a foot. And there's an injury on the field. We're going to step aside with that injury timeout. This is high school football on Kello Extra.
When something isn't right, it's natural to want to talk to somebody about it.
It's not shameful to be healthy for you.
When you just need someone to talk to, contact Rising Hope Counseling.
Hi, I'm Jill Janicki from Rising Hope, and I want you to know it's okay to ask for help. At Rising Hope Counseling, we offer counseling and psychiatric medication.
Rising Hope Counseling, because if you have hope, you have everything.
Brandon welcomes Northwest Tire to the community. From top brands to top-notch service, Northwest Tire provides quality tire and repair services to keep your vehicle going strong. All makes, all models, all sizes. If it goes around, you'll find it here. Check out nwtire.com for a complete list of services and specials. Also wishing all high school football players a safe and exciting season.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
And here's a play right out of the end zone, and it's incomplete as Knuth was being harassed on the play.
Pressure put on by Sullivan Schlimgen.
Schlimgen, no surprise, the guy chasing him down there, Jordan. And now it's 3rd down and 10, and you almost want to get some sort of yardage, or your punter is going to be standing just about out the back of the end zone.
And I think their focus right now with this play has to be conservative and give their punter a little more room. I mean, just so we can get a good punt off.
Third down. And 10 yards to go. Play action. They're looking for some crossers here. It develops for a long time. Deep shot, they got Knuth. There's nobody home. Racing down the field, 40, 50, still going to the 40, hit from behind and dropped all the way at the 37-yard line. It is a 62-yard first down.
I wanted Harrisburg to be conservative, but they didn't listen to me, and for good reason. They had a good play. They felt like they could dial up, and it was gutsy to call a play like that that took a long time to develop. Just goes to show how much faith they have in that offensive line, and if you're O'Gorman, that is just back-breaking.
Well, it's a Knuth to Knuth connection. Say that 10 times fast. Knuth to Knuth, 62 yards, and Harrisburg not only gets out of the shadow of their own end zone, but now a few plays could get some more points and put this game even potentially more on ice.
Looks like Hines cramping up here by the sideline.
And yes, it is. Hines cramping up just a little bit. And he's not the only one. There's another Harrisburg player with a tight right leg down the sideline there.
On the tackle for the Knights is 29.
Pretty common to see cramps game 1, especially here in August. These guys not quite used to playing a full game. That'll go away as the season goes along and as the weather gets cooler.
Gain of 6 makes it 2nd and 4 for the Tigers from the Knights 31.
So it's officially a 6-yard gain, and they should wind the clock here out of the injury timeout. 6:49 to go in the game. Handoff middle, not much going there. In fact, no gain on the play.
I still think 4-down territory here for Harrisburg. Just beyond the 30-yard line. We'll see how aggressive they get here 3rd and short. If we're thinking that they're probably going to go for it anyway. Maybe a shot at the end zone?
Yeah, let's see what they decide to do here. Third down carry. Didn't go very far.
On the tackle for the Knights, 34, Jack Stucco.
I think it's another example of them just trying to set themselves up for a good fourth down. Got a couple extra yards, makes it more manageable. And the playbook wide open here, 4th and about 3 yards.
29.
Yeah, 4th down and 3, and it looks like the offense will go nowhere. Again, you're going to kick a 46-yard field goal? Probably not. Very few kickers in the state that you'd even think that with. 5.5 to go. Big play. If OG wants a chance, they got to have a stop here, Jordan. And we're going to get a timeout on the field.
Timeout. The second timeout of the half.
And so that timeout will pause us here. 5:22 to go left in the quarter, Jordan. And, you know, I was just alluding to it. O'Gorman's got to have the stop here. I mean, if you don't, you're going to take off at least a couple more minutes.
I mean, that and you risk going down 3 scores. You're 5:22 left, and I definitely agree with the timeout here to talk it over to make sure they're good to go, because this is do or die time. This is the most important part of the game right here. And any shot in the world that they want at winning this game, defense has to come up clutch right here.
Well, and for Harrisburg, you got to feel comfortable. You can put this on ice.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think they also kind of make the call knowing they have a little room for error. They can take a risk right here if they really wanted to. Up by 2 scores with time running out.
They could, and you know what? They did. 3rd and 10 at their own end zone, and they took a shot. 5:22 to go in the game. 4th down and 3. Long 2. Call it a short 3. It's on the board. It says 2. Knuth to throw. Firing left side. Who else are they looking for besides Braden Feldy?
Knuth's pass is complete to number 3.
One-on-one out there. They're just isolating him, Jordan, and letting him make the play.
And it's probably about the 3rd time they've completed the ball right on the sideline. A route. They ran that route probably 3 or 4 times tonight, just putting Feldy on an island, beating his man, and a good job of adjusting to that. He had to pick that up right off the turf.
And again, we told this reminder earlier as we hit the 9:40 mark. We only have 5 minutes remaining in our Kello Extra broadcast window. Well, we only got 5 minutes remaining in the game, so we'll see if that makes a difference, and that time is going to overlap now with the stop clock. But the game will continue on KelloLand.com. We'll make that adjustment in just a couple minutes. For right now, we'll continue our coverage here as the final minutes continuing to battle here as O'Gorman, unfortunately, that 62-yarder and then not being able to make that 4th down. Those are 2 of their biggest plays of the game to give them a chance. And it's kind of been a lot of things going Harrisburg's way, right, Jordan? You had the 4th and goal that they didn't score on, then the 62-yarder, now the 4th down that goes their way. Harrisburg's making plays at the right time, and here comes one to the right side. Hines on the carry, and that 1st down carry goes not very far. It's actually the 2nd down carry, brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, this Harrisburg team has made plays at the exact right time, and they've come up clutch in those clutch moments, in those moments that are a little more suspenseful in the game, and that's been the difference so far.
And so, 4 minutes, 3rd down and 11. Play clock running out. Knuth will get it off just in time. Rolling left. Thought about looking for the other Knuth. Instead, he's just going to run it. Sam Knuth's kind of fun to watch. He goes 10 yards. He will be short, but it'll be 4th and 1, and I think we're going to get a timeout.
4th down on the field.
And you have to wonder, too, I think this is manageable for Harrisburg's kicker maybe. I don't know his range. Do you try to go for a field goal and try to go up 3 scores here?
Yeah, that'll be the interesting question there, Jordan, how they approach this.
On the other side, you could go for it, get it, and chew more clock.
A lot of conversations can be had right now, that's for sure. And, you know, we talk about the conversations that you can have, Jordan. What conversation? We see the two teams in our side-by-side shot. Both teams popped up here. What do you think they're talking about? Let's start with Harrisburg on 4th and 1.
I think Harrisburg, there might be challenging their offensive line here. If they're going for it, they're probably going to run behind those big bodies up front. They're probably telling them, hey, we need 1 yard. We need you to stay low and be physical here on this 4th down.
And for O'Gorman on the flip side, what are they talking about?
I mean, they're probably letting them know that this is a do-or-die time for you right now, and maybe the exact same thing. Be physical, get low with your pad level, and do your best to blow up this Harrisburg offensive line.
If they can, let's see what happens. 3:47 officially remaining in the game, but it's 4th and 1. This is any sort of the game, and I think there's some pre-snap movement. They're going to have to back it up.
Dead ball. Snap infraction. Number 6, offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So they call the snap infraction. I just believe that the center probably moved the ball a little bit. That made the defensive line jump. So that will move the back 5 yards and make this 4th down a little harder.
Yeah, it's a costly mistake, Jordan. You know, it turns it now 4th down and 6. And a really tough situation.
And I believe we also just heard in our ears we got about a minute before we got to make the switch over to KettleLand.com.
Final minute that we can show here, as you mentioned. Here's Canute to throw. He's in trouble, and he got demolished.
Tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
And it'll be a turnover on downs. And unfortunately for those watching on Kello Extra, you'll have to watch the rest of it on KettleLand.com. You can scan the QR code and watch us there. Thank you for joining on Kello Extra. The Dakota Bowl continues on KettleLand.com. And for those of you hanging around on KettleLand.com, for those of you just joining us, we thank you for joining us here. You know, Jordan, I thought we were going to have a chance to get it all in.
Really close.
Close there. But honestly, the first half of the fourth quarter, I went, this could be the quickest fourth quarter ever, and we're going to get the whole game in, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think both teams started to pass the ball around a little bit more, and now we're stuck about 3:20 left to go.
And so the final 3 minutes continuing to tick away here as we finish it off on KettleLand.com. Black to throw. Firing right side. Laser too high and incomplete. And no flags on the field. Black's got an arm to him, but that time a little too much, a little off target. But again, you get in this urgency mode. It's a place Talon Black hasn't been before. And you get a little gun happy, right? You know you got to make these plays, and that one just a little too much arm.
Yeah, just sailed on him, and I think as he gets more experience with these types of situations, he'll get better with that. But I think right now he just needs to keep his emotions in check and just take it play by play.
Continuing the battle here. 3rd down. If we fix that on the board, the throw intercepted. Here comes a return. On the return is number 13, Grayer Van Hall. He comes up with the INT and the game-sealing play to win the Dakota Bowl. It appears could be the play. And just missing the replay there. We missed the replay, but a heck of an interception there, Jordan. Big play.
And it looked like Black might have got hit as he threw. It kind of wobbled up in the air. Great ball skills and a great job of coming down with that. And he just sealed a Dakota Bowl win for Harrisburg.
That was a great shot that we just had there from Cody as well. Van Hall on the bench celebrating. and getting love all over. And you can see him just next to the Gatorade coolers over there. Jordan might give us a look at that if I ask nicely. You see him right on the end of the bench, number 13 there. Look at the love he's getting, Jordan. You've been in big moments before, having big plays. What's that like coming to the sideline and the whole team's picking you up after you just did something big?
I mean, it's one of the best feelings in the world if you're a player, right? I think you know that you did what you could to help out your team, and you did something that helped out 50 or 60 of your best friends, and it's just the best feeling to come off the field and see them congratulate you.
1st and 10 Tigers from the Knights.
2:52 to go. Harrisburg, number 1 team. I don't know if anyone really had a prediction, for what today would look like. I don't know if 14 points would have been where I would have capped today's over-under there, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but it's been a fun game, right? It really hasn't been boring to watch. When you see the final 14-0, you think, it might be a snooze fest. But these two teams, they've driven the ball quite a bit, and it's been a fun back-and-forth battle between two teams that I think are going to definitely be playoff teams come season's end in 11 AAA.
You know, they could be. And in 11 AAA, 8 of the 9 teams make it. So you'd sure hope to be the one team that doesn't. But both teams have looked pretty good. And I got to give a lot of credit. Here's a carry right side. Nowhere to go. An excellent defense there by number 34, Jack Stuckel. We've called his name a few times. I've been impressed with what Jack can do.
Yeah, exactly. He's made a lot of good plays, and we've talked about that linebacking core from O'Gorman, right? They've played well, and they're one of the best ones in the state, and it's good to see someone other than Slimgan coming up and making a good play.
No doubt about it. And that's back-to-back negative runs. 2 yards backwards, now 4 yards backwards, and it's 3rd down and 16.
And if you're Harrisburg, you're just trying to chew off a little bit more clock here. About a minute and a half remaining here, and I mean, you can try to take a shot to really seal this thing, but they don't need to get too fancy here.
Well, they won't get fancy, but you talk about taking some time. I think they almost took a second too long. The official was about to throw that last hand in the air before a flag, and so the Coach White calling it in there and saying, let's call timeout here. Let's not make it. It's already 3rd and 16. We don't need it anymore.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think it's just a matter of getting the play call in. It might have been a little bit of confusion there, but at this point in the game, you just need to make sure that everyone's on the same page and good to go.
The next action right back here at McEnany Field on Friday night, just 6 days from tonight.
Minute and 17 seconds to go.
Right here at McEnany Field.
And the winner of this game for Harrisburg, it looks like they're on their way, Jordan, to a 1-0 start, and they got a tough game next week. They're going to go against Washington. That's in the Tiger Bowl next week. So a couple of bowls to start the season. That's got to be fun, right? You played in a bowl game, obviously, going against Central Lyon, a big rivalry that West Lyon and Central Lyon had. And every school's trying to come up with their own now, and you see Harrisburg getting to play in a couple of them here. Those are fun to play in.
And rivalries, they're just fun, right? You get bragging rights with the school that you're not too far away from. And it's those types of games that the community loves to come out and support you. They're always great atmospheres, and it's always a great time to play in games like that.
Knuth rolling left, fires behind his intended target, and it falls incomplete. The intended target on that play.
Officials timeout, injury.
Appeared to be number 15, Owen Brandt. And kind of had him open, but Knuth running against his body. You know, that's the throw that they say be really sure about, right? When you're going left and trying to throw with the right hand, you got nothing behind it besides your arm.
Right. I mean, you can't get a lot of power into that, and if you're going to miss, make sure you miss toward the sideline. I don't think he did right there, but had some power on that throw, but just threw it a little bit behind.
And an injured player will walk off the field. You see our shot from our sideline camera with Cody. Sam Clayburg will limp off the field. And, you know, the way he's holding his foot there, Jordan, not holding it, but kind of that right foot, he's not bending. You don't want to make assumptions when it comes to injuries, right? You don't want to play that game. But you'd assume a cramp, and while it's not that hot out anymore, that humidity still gets to it. I'm still sticky a little bit. It's just the way. It's the way that humidity can still get to guys that are running around on a hot turf field. It's been in the sun all day. And to go with it, they got pads on, and it's easy to cramp up. We've seen that from both squads tonight.
And my guess is he just didn't want to bend his calf in the wrong way to make it cramp up again. I've been there.
Oh, absolutely. That foot goes as straight as you can have it. Here's Knuth rolling out left, still going, and finally dropped down. It's a turnover on downs, and O'Gorman will take over with 65 seconds to play.
And we'll see what kind of effort they come out and play with here on offense, right? I think right now, game's about out of reach, 1:05 left to go, and this is just about your pride right now, right? How much effort can you give these last 65 seconds?
Well, and also with that, you never like to get shut out. That's something, and that's the pride we're going to see both sides, right? It's not easy to shut out any team in any class, especially 11 AAA, the biggest class in the state. It's not easy to shut out a team, so Harrisburg's going to play with that pride here. And O'Gorman would really like 7 points. And they were within about a foot of it.
Right.
Not even. Maybe you zoomed in on the football right after that. They were within inches of having the touchdown that would have made it 14-7 and changed the whole complexion of the game. 3 plays later, they think they're going to get Harrisburg on a 3-and-out and the 62-yard pass.
I mean, it's a cliche. It's a game of inches, right? And they've been close to scoring all game. This very well could be a tie ball game right now, but Harrisburg coming up with the big plays when they needed them.
Quick throw right side, catch made, and a first down. Connecting there with number 19, Jason Muller, and I've liked what I've seen from him. I've liked what I've seen from this O'Gorman team, Jordan. You have to overcome what you've been battling. Well, I should say you have to overcome losing really good players. That's what they had to do, and they're trying to do it. I was impressed with the way they did it tonight. Coach Jason Poppinga did a lot of creative things. But unfortunately for them, just not going to be enough as the final seconds tick away. Will they get it off? They do. New quarterback into the game, too, is Hunter Savannah. And that's going to be the end of the game. Final score tonight is 14-0 in favor of the Harrisburg Tigers. They're the top-ranked team here. Jordan will wrap it up here quickly. Just your overall thoughts on your first Dakota Bowl and a pretty entertaining game. And for O'Gorman, they got to love what they saw on one side of the ball. The other side of the ball just has to finish a couple drives.
I think O'Gorman, you have a lot you can take away. A lot you can build on, right? You mentioned that they lost a lot of starters from last year, so they have some inexperience. Experience isn't something you can get in one game, and I think it's something that they'll get throughout the year. They have talent on the field. We've seen that, and I think they'll only get better as the season goes along. Now, on the other side for Harrisburg, they play complementary football. I think besides a turnover on special teams, they played really well offense, defense, and special teams, and they should be pretty excited with where they're at so far.
Well, my last thing to add is mistakes, right? Harrisburg cleaned them up in the first half, had a couple turnovers. They cleaned it up and got better in the second half. On the counter side of it, you have what we saw from O'Gorman, right? They had that costly interception. O'Gorman had that costly interception, first drive of the second half, right? They were going in for points. Interception happens. Then the other way, they got stopped a foot short. So they had 2 drives this half that could have ended in points. They made good halftime adjustments. I think there's a lot to build on for the Knights.
Exactly. It's just a matter of cutting down on those mistakes. Harrisburg overcame them. O'Gorman really could not. And, O'Gorman, if they gain one more foot, if they don't throw an interception, we might be going into overtime right now. So O'Gorman has a lot to learn from the film room, and I think they'll get better as the season goes along.
Certainly. Fun game tonight. We had 2 really good ones. We've had 3 really good ones so far. The Kelloland Sports live stream and live coverage game of the week hits the road. We go north next weekend to Del Rapids, an 11A battle between Del Rapids and Madison. Madison looked really good last week. Del Rapids suffered their first loss in 2 years. So we're going to see, how do the Couriers bounce back? We'll have a trip to look at their brand new field that they just opened a couple of years ago. Brand new press box last year. So a lot of excitement in that game next week. That game, 7 o'clock pregame, 7:05 kickoff. That's next Friday right here on KELOLAND.com and on Kelo Extra. We'll hopefully be able to finish that one. This one we missed by less than 10 minutes. And that's the way it goes with a 7:30 start and an extended halftime. But it was a fun call for the Dakota Bowl. We thank you for joining us in the third live coverage game of the week. Signing off from McEnany Field for Cody East, our sideline reporter, for Jordan DeSmit, for our great people running the director's booth back at Kelo. I'm Grant Sweeter saying thanks for tuning in and have a great night.